Is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing? I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Beef
fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What are you talking about?
No, it's not him. There's only one more. There is only one more. That's it. One more.
Get a rest!
No!
They saw your team put up zero effort.
Wake up!
Remember in the old days, they used to have oxygen for them. Where's the oxygen?
Play like absolute just garbage.
This is the Sports Loudmouths.
Yay!
Man, can you keep it down? I'm trying to introduce here. With Errol Marks, Speedy Petey, and Tyler Harrison.
You're not even a has-been. You're a never was. You're a never was. You're a never was.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is another show of the Sports Loudmouth. I'm your host, Big Easy himself, Mr. Errol Marks. On the board, as always, Speedy, the spiritual wannabe Petey, and Mr. Tyler Beanbag Harrison. And our special guest in the studio, it is the Beeve. And if you want to say ban the Beeve, he is back. He's ready, and he's ready to bite your damn ears off.
Ben
The
already
Beeve.
has.
As you guys know, you can call us at 631-672-3108. You can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Download our app by going to iOS, WWSRN, or Android. Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Oh, my God, what a week of sports. I'm so happy to be back. And before we get into it, Mr. Beanbag, what's going on, man? You are losing a little bit more of that hair. What do you think? Your hair, I mean, it's fresh. Did you get a haircut this week or what? Are you going to say anything?
He's going for the dramatic tension buildup.
Oh, okay.
He's got more hair on his face than he does his head.
No.
Oh, but of course.
Might have more hair on his head than he does have on his balls.
Maybe you should. Oh, wow.
You know, I don't know.
Maybe you should brush one of Speedy's hair.
That could be a good idea. How about you, Speedy? What's going on? How was your family, your father?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my father. It was last Friday. We celebrated over the weekend. Had a fun little cookout. Played a lot of games.
What did you say? You fondled him? What?
I had a fun cookout type thing, like a barbecue type thing. No, I did not fondle him.
I don't know.
I know you like to hear words. All right. I mentioned this after we pre-recorded the Weekend Crunch last week. Errol's new nickname is the king of wishful speaking. He hears what he wants to hear.
He loves that song, by the way. I introduced him the king of wishful thinking, and ever since it's like his favorite song. He listens to it,
which is weird because I know a lot of '80s new wave pop type groups and songs. I never heard that song in my life until 2 years ago or something.
I introduced it to him, and it's been his favorite song. So figure that one out. Anyways, maybe we'll play it tonight. Maybe we'll sing to it. Maybe Tyler will sing to it. I would love to see him sing to something.
God,
I mean,
maybe. Never mind.
Well, anyways,
I'm not even gonna identify you.
What is wrong with you tonight? Have you lost your marbles? Maybe you lost one nut. How's that sound?
Maybe you lost a mothball. I don't know.
I would call him.
Tyler would throw away the mothball before he'd lose it.
He looks more like a beanbag. You know that.
Your mom's
head of
a
his.
beanbag.
Well, my mom is a beanbag. She barely could walk, so she probably is a beanbag right now. I mean, her ass is a beanbag. That's for damn sure.
Oh my God. Well then.
All right. By the way,
so Knicks are losing, huh?
Yeah, the Knicks are losing right now. They're getting torched right now, and that's because of the great Julius Ball Hog Randle. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. Before we get into our show today, and obviously there's going to be a lot of fighting. There's a guy on our network that has been going through a lot. Yesterday, Josh Silverberg actually called me. His wife gave birth to a son 6 weeks early. And she is he was born 3 pounds and a few, I think 2 ounces.
13 ounces or something.
Yeah, something like that. He wasn't big. His wife is in bad condition. She's alive, thank God. I want to give a shout out to him and his family. With first of all his newborn son. Thank God that he's healthy and he's going to be okay. And his beautiful wife Melissa, which she's been going through it. Could you imagine possibly losing your wife and your son? It's just terrible. And happy that they're both doing very, very well. And hopefully everything goes well for him, because I know Josh is a good boy, a good man, good whatever. And to hear something like that last night, it definitely saddened me and actually upsetted me. But I'm happy that both of them are okay. So to the Silverberg family, hopefully everything is fine and everything moves forward as we expect it to be. So shout out to Josh and his family. Did he pick a date yet? By the way, give a shout out to Jeff. Jeff is right now dealing with he's very sick today, and I hope he feels better. I know he wasn't feeling so well today, and he's telling me that he wasn't doing well. So shout out to Jeff. Hopefully he's okay. Is the beef streaming from a janitor's closet or a deli section? ShopRite. No, he's in the studio.
Almost. I feel like it.
No, he's in the studio. He's right by the TV in the studio.
You didn't bring any of your signature deli.
I don't have
deli food.
I don't have a green screen for him for back there, but I am ordering one.
Ben says yes.
I am ordering one over there, so when we have guests, they can actually sit there with the green screen behind them. But I'm happy. I'm sorry.
Then we'd have nothing to watch.
Well, when we have the guests, we should just concentrate on the guests, don't you think so? Anyways, we got a great show.
No, not really.
You don't say anything. By the way, last week, I told you after the first 2 guests that we had to actually, when you ask the question, to speed up on the question and don't stop. You start off with the question, then you stop for a second, and then you go back to the question. And then they just answer the question and you miss the question. So I don't understand that, but you got to be smooth with the questions. You know what I'm talking about?
It says hashtag deli meats for everyone.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways,
well, if Tyler was here, there'd be no meat left. So.
Tyler is here. Some ham. Do you like ham, Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much could you eat a whole batch of ham?
12 pounds of ham.
I would eat 12 pounds of ham. I'd be really fat
in one sitting.
Yeah. You don't think I could?
No, I think you'd be sick afterwards.
You bet me $3,000. I'll do it.
You do anything for money.
I do anything for money. That's right. Except eat shit. I won't do that. I won't do that. That will definitely not happen.
I got $1 if you put the beef in a guillotine right here, right now.
$1? That's not worth $1.
$5.
He tried that in my backyard, and I,
don't get started. Well. Don't you get started with that, because you know what happened in your backyard.
Happened?
You know what happened.
Nothing happened.
Anyways, when we get into our show, we're going to get into the Odell Beckham saga. I'm not surprised, and I heard stories over the weekend. If he didn't pass waivers, whoever signed him or brought him in, he was going to give him problems. So he was really making sure that he was going to go to the team of his liking where he wanted to go. We will get into the Odell Beckham thing. We'll get into Aaron Rodgers. Well, obviously, the stuff that's going on with him, how the NFL is not protecting their players or backing him up. I don't blame the NFL for what and really what other people are saying about Aaron, because Aaron lied. He did say that he took his immunization shots, but when you say your immunization, people think that you took your COVID shot. So he kind of lied about that. So we will get into the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. We'll get into some basketball. The Knicks getting crushed right now by the Milwaukee Bucks. Because Julius, a.k.a. Ball Hog Randall, is tossing up bricks, Mr. Bricklayer. So we'll get into the NBA, not just the Knicks. We're going to get into the whole NBA. The Lakers, Carmelo Anthony is leading them right now, even though it's not saying much. I think they're like the 8th. If the season were to end right now, they'd be the 8th seed.
And even a lot of their wins are like surviving in overtime or something.
So it's not saying much. They're not playing good basketball right now. They look old. But I believe as the season progresses, this team's going to figure it out. They're too talented.
They're still not going to win the championship.
I do believe they will.
They won't.
I do. I think they're going to win.
Okay.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. We will also get into baseball. Obviously, this offseason, What is it? The winter meetings.
Winter meetings
are starting. The Mets still don't have a manager or president.
They're not going to either.
It doesn't seem like it. And there will be a strike this offseason. There is belief that there will be a strike.
Yep.
The question is how long the strike is going to last. Is it going to be half the season? Who knows how the MLB, because there's going to be a lot of different rules that are going to try to be implicated in, and a lot of the owners and are going to argue that because they don't like the situation of where baseball is going. So we'll get into a little baseball and the winter meetings and obviously the strike that's going to happen in the next couple of months. We will also get into the NFL and this week, which was so lopsided. It's just crazy. I mean, the Jaguars knocking off the Bills. I mean, who would have thought that 9-6? The Bills could not. It's so crazy. We'll get into the whole Josh Allen thing because I think Josh Allen is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But when he lays up a dud, he lays up a damn dud. And he looked horrible this weekend. I mean, a lot of the quarterbacks did. A lot of the quarterbacks did not.
Josh Allen didn't look horrible. He had 3 sacks and an interception.
Well, I'm not talking about that, Josh
I know.
and by the way, Russell Wilson will be making his return with the Seahawks. Is that going to make a difference? I know the wild card is open. I don't think.
Yeah, there's no obvious last NFC team. There's 4 powerhouses, and that's really it.
I know it's open, but I still think I don't see the Seahawks getting into the playoffs. I really don't, unless some crazy thing happens and they do get Odell Beckham, which possibly could happen. Who knows?
He's going to play corner.
So why don't we get into the whole Odell Beckham saga? And before we get the Beeve involved with this and Tyler and obviously Speedy's thoughts to it, before this whole Odell Beckham thing happened with obviously the Browns, I didn't believe he was going to last with the Browns this year. I mean, things coming out from the locker room. We heard Jarvis Landry was one of his best friends. In the beginning of the season, they actually had to move their lockers because they weren't getting along in the locker room. You haven't heard Jarvis Landry speak when on all the players. I mean, every single player has come out and attacked Odell Beckham so far in the past week and a half. And you don't see Jarvis Landry. He hasn't said anything bad about Odell Beckham, but he's not going out there and sticking up for Odell either. So that is reassuring to you to think that there is a problem between him and Landry. But I just, when you look at Odell Beckham, he's a physical specimen. He's one of the most talented players we've seen at the wide receiver position, really, since Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice and some of the more talented wide receivers we've seen in the league. The problem with Odell Beckham is really his attitude and his team deception. And what I mean by deception is he deceives himself that he is the team. He doesn't make himself out to be a player on a team. He thinks he's the whole team. And that has been a big problem with the Browns ever since he got traded to the Browns. I think it's hurt Baker Mayfield's growth. It really has. And I think when you look at Baker Mayfield, every single time Odell Beckham has been off the field, Baker Mayfield's look better. And the teams look better. They score more points. They play better. Even the defense looks better when Odell Beckham isn't playing in the game. Now, do I blame Odell Beckham because of the craziness of the offense when he's not in the offense? Yes, I do. I think Baker Mayfield, it has affected Baker Mayfield's game and who he is as a quarterback. He likes to spread out the offense. He likes to use all his wide receivers, all his running backs. And when Odell Beckham, he wants to touch the ball 10, 12, 13 times in a game. Now that he was obviously released by the Browns, he wanted to pass waivers. And there were stories coming out over the weekend that if some team picks him up where he doesn't want to go, he will raise hell to that team to drop him again. So no team picked him off waivers, which nobody believed they were. And now there are stories coming out that there are 3 lead teams that can get him. The Chiefs, the Packers, and who's the other team, Speedy?
The Saints.
The Saints. Now, I think the Chiefs are out. I do not believe the Chiefs are going to get Odell Beckham. I don't think he has any real interests of going to the Chiefs. Now, me looking at the big picture, I think he would fit very well with the Chiefs, especially in the offense. He'd be used very, very well in a deep threat. That's something that they're lacking right now as a team. And you would think that would be crazy when you have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has not been the same wide receiver he's been in the last 2 years. He
Not only
really
that,
hasn't.
they have deep threats. They just don't know how to catch the ball.
Mahomes has been the same either.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Mahomes, I think it's the offensive line, and I know it's a new offensive line. A lot of people thought that this was going to be a better offensive line than they were over the last couple of years because of the injury-prone
But
tackles.
didn't he open up his mouth saying they were going to go undefeated this year?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, well,
I
there
said
you
that
go.
last week.
There you go.
But I think the problem right now is it's a new offensive line. It's not an easy offense to learn. It really isn't. Andy Reid is a very persistent, offensive-minded coach, and he likes to use the wide receivers and the running backs in so many different ways. And I think it's affected the offense and the offensive line. Now, I do believe that Patrick Mahomes is still an elite quarterback. I do believe he's a top 3, top 4 quarterback in the league. He still is. He just hasn't had a great year, and it has definitely affected the team's growth and where this team could be, in the next couple of weeks. But I look at Odell Beckham. I think there's only 2 teams he'll go to. The reason why I don't think it'll be the Saints, because I don't think the Saints are a playoff team. I really don't. Now, I know Jeff says it's the Pats or the Packers. It's hard to believe. I haven't heard anything about the Pats. I know Jeff sent me a couple of things today that the Pats are still in the hunt. I can't see the Pats getting.
Can't count Seattle out either.
I think Seattle's done. I think it's the Saints or the Packers. I think by tomorrow, within the next 24 to 48 hours, I think he's going to sign with the Packers. I really do. I think the Packers make a lot of sense.
So does Seattle.
He has a better chance of winning with the Packers.
Steve, the other thing too is it's evident with the 3
It
teams
gives
he
Russell
picked.
Wilson like that good receiver that he needs right now.
Here's the other thing too: the 3 teams he picked
got
made
2
it
of them.
evident that he's not
He
being
does,
anything
but-
less than a number 2 receiver either.
He's got 2 really good wide receivers. If he has Odell Beckham, that's a 3rd wide receiver. That's 3 too much,
right?
Especially with the players that they have, and it's going to cause a lot of friction in the locker room because Odell.
No matter where he goes, is going to cause friction.
Right, but there's a difference if he's a number 2 receiver versus.
I know
number 3.
I know what you're going to say about Green Bay.
If he goes to Green Bay, he's not going to go to in the huddle and tell Aaron Rodgers.
I know he's not going to do that
because Aaron Rodgers will tell you, listen, son, I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I've been one of the best or the best overall quarterback in all of the NFL, and you're not going to tell me who I'm going to throw to. He's not. He's
still going to create problems, though.
I don't think he will. Not in that locker room. Aaron Rodgers is too in control of that locker room that even if Odell goes there, there's no way anybody's going to swing to Odell Beckham's side. Especially in the middle of the season.
The other difference too, Beav, is between the Chiefs and the Saints too. If you want to throw them into the mix, between either top quarterbacks or top coaches, they're not going to have Odell run that kind of huddle. Whereas with the Seahawks, they have a defensive-minded coach that doesn't get involved in the offense as much. So I think it would be something where those kinds of antics are still going to be there. Even Seattle, when they were good, they still had players that had a lot of antics too. And if Odell's going to regain that form when he was an elite wide receiver, he's not going to need something like that to stabilize.
He's never going to be elite again.
I think it depends on the team where he goes to. If he goes to the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is going to make him that much better. He just is. He makes wide receivers that are not even the top 100 in the league great wide receivers. So just imagine Odell Beckham's talent with Aaron Rodgers. He'll be explosive. In that offense, the way they're going to use him, he'll be explosive in the slants. They could put him in the slot. They could put him on the outside. He'll be explosive. And remember, he breaks a lot of tackles. And Aaron Rodgers loves those wide receivers, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. Those are guys. Even Devontae Adams is a guy that likes to break tackles. And by the way, the Green Bay Packers in the last 3 years have been amongst the league's best when it comes to breaking tackles in the league. Mm-hmm. Tyler, what are your thoughts to this? I mean, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people believe Odell Beckham could be on his way to Green Bay. What are your thoughts to it?
Him and Aaron Rodgers shouldn't do this dance together. They're too similar in the way of how they think. And if he goes to Green Bay, they'll regret it.
That's it? You think they're going to regret it because he's...
Yeah. Well, because they're both hotheads. That's what he's trying to say.
First of all, I think it'll absolutely work. And we've seen Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers on the same team, 2 hotheads, and they worked for 3 years.
Right,
before.
but hold on. Aaron Rodgers at that point in time had no stroke to tell Brett Favre anything. 0.
Mm-hmm.
And if he did, he probably would have got thrown out of Green Bay.
Jermichael Finley, he was a hot-tempered, hot stroke type of tight end on the team. He listened to Aaron Rodgers. He had his best season in the NFL with Aaron Rodgers.
But he wasn't nowhere near Odell hotheadness.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
he didn't play enough to know that.
And I love Odell, so let's not even do this. I think Odell needs to go somewhere where
There's four. Okay, if you want to put the Pats in, that's 4 teams. The Pats, Kansas City, the Saints, or the Packers.
And I still
Where
think
does he have the
Seattle,
best
so.
chance? Where does he have the best chance of winning a championship? Honestly,
it depends on his structure. If he's going 2-year deal, New England. If he's
it's
thinking
1-year deal. Signing.
He's only signed a 1-year
then
deal.
I'm going Kansas City.
No, I go Packers.
Defense.
I'd go to the Packers. You have
Yeah,
a better
that
chance.
defense is the same defense that went to the Super Bowl
Rodgers
last year.
is
So
better
I'm
than
really not
Mahomes right
concerned.
now. Rodgers will make them much better than Mahomes would.
I think the better chance that he has a chance to win a championship.
Pat
is the
Mahomes
Packers.
and Russell Wilson and Bill Belichick, I think, are the 3 guys that he'd mesh with very well.
I think he'll mesh well with Mahomes. It's just a matter of them winning a championship. There might be a wild card team with that defense. It's not the same defense when they lost their top 2 corners, and also Frank Clark hasn't played really well half the year either. So it's gonna. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're regaining it anytime soon.
I mean, if you watched Kansas City play the Packers last week with a backup quarterback, a quarterback that hasn't played in the NFL since he's come into the NFL, and they barely beat that team, and their backup, what's his name again?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love didn't even play well. Okay,
No,
and
they
they
didn't.
almost won the game. Now, if you put Odell Beckham with Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, were 7-1 going into that game.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers played in that game. They beat Kansas City. They're
100%.
8-1.
Yep.
They're 8-1 right now. I think
because he's a jackass.
what Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
I know you don't like Aaron
He
Rodgers.
is a jackass.
It's
But-
fine. And most of the great quarterbacks have been jackasses in the league. Joe Montana, jackass. You name all the top
Joe
quarterbacks.
Montana
Brett
did screw his
Favre,
team.
a jackass. Just go up and down the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
That's fine. But who else
They're all
lied about it?
jackasses.
Who else lied about COVID?
What?
Who else lied about
We'll
COVID?
get into the whole lying about COVID, okay? And honestly, you can't attack somebody because he decided he didn't want to get the shot and he was going to lie about it. There's a lot of people. You think he's the only athlete, he's the only NFL player that's lied about taking that shot?
I would venture to say yes.
I venture to tell you you're out of your mind. You're on drugs. A lot of players have hidden and haven't taken that. Haven't really taken it. A lot of them. I believe that. So he's the superstar. Obviously, the NFL is going to put obviously a hex on him because he's Aaron Rodgers, and he's just like you guys were saying, is a hothead and always thinks that he's right. But then again, you can't take away his talent and what he is
I'm
as
not
a player
taking away his
and when
talent.
he's on the
no one's
field.
taking away his
What I'm
talent.
saying is Odell Beckham Jr. and him together will not mesh. They will not get along. By the way, I'm sick of Odell not getting along with people and that he's a cancer.
Jeff,
I know you said that before.
By the way, Jeff is saying, Errol, you're flat wrong about Rodgers and the facts. Okay, listen, I know you are. I know what you are about when it comes to the vaccination, Jeff. So I know your thoughts to the vaccination, and that's fine. Me and you look at it completely different. And I am pro-vax actually now more than ever because I had COVID. But again, if somebody doesn't want to take the vaccination and all that other stuff, he shouldn't be forced to take the
Nobody should be
vaccination.
forced. That's what's
Okay?
wrong with this world.
But if he wants to hide it, and he actually got away with hiding it. Well, shame on him. But actually, you look at the big picture. He got away with it, and obviously he got COVID, and then they investigated it, and the card that he had or whatever. What was the story? He
had a vaccine card, and he also labeled it as immunization, which is completely
yes.
different than actually being vaccinated.
Yeah, and that was the hidden truth to it. Now, was he right about it? No, I lying about anything, you're always wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but he is not the only player. I guarantee you. Now he's the
No,
only
more
player
will
that's been
come out for
caught.
sure, yeah.
He's the only player that got caught. But I'm sure there are NFL players that are hiding or have not taken that.
I'm sure he's not the only Packer either. Al Lazard was fine too, and I'm sure they're going to investigate the whole team now. They fined the team already $300,000.
I mean, he's just not the only player that's done it in the league.
Right.
So unfortunately, he's the superstar. So he is going to get the biggest damper, not only through the league, but through the world. The world is attacking him. Howard Stern is attacking him on his radio show. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel
People are attacking him because he was an asshole after the fact.
Well, how was
really
he an asshole? What made him an asshole?
Why is he throwing a temper tantrum that the media made this a big deal when you're the reason that it happened in the first place? You can't blame the media for report. They reported on your divorce. They reported on everything else you've done in your career. You're pissed off because they released the fact you lied about being vaccinated.
By the way.
Whatever. Divorce, breakup, same shit.
He's engaged right now.
Yes,
He's getting that.
yes.
Ben says Rodgers did some word magic on the explanation. He's got bad things coming.
Probably. Yeah,
he's gonna get suspended.
I don't know about suspended. He'll be fined.
Oh,
he's already fined. He's already been fined.
He's
Him
not
and
going to be
Alvazar
suspended. They're not going to suspend one of the best players in the league because you need,
They
especially.
tried to suspend Brady 4 games.
That's different.
How?
That's different. And by the way, they were wrong about doing that. The whole Deflategate crap that happened to him, that was wrong. I mean, especially when they investigated and it was just complete bull.
Yep.
I mean, so.
What was it? Half an ounce?
It was bull, and that was because of the Baltimore Ravens because they were so sappy
Colts
about.
too,
They were so. It was Baltimore. It was what's his name again?
It was Harbaugh first, and then it was the Colts as well.
Complaining and saying the things that he said because they lost that game against the Patriots because
they blew a
Bill
28-14 lead
Bill
at
Belichick
halftime.
found a rule that can be broken in the rule book. And he got all upset.
Now the Packers had offered Beckham a minimum contract of $500,000.
Well, yeah, that's expected at this point. Now that he's cleared waivers, Jeff says Beef should announce he wants to be released from ShopRite and he can go to a deli of his choosing. Stuck says breaking news: OBJ signs with New York Jets. OBJ says just thankful he didn't end up on the Cowboys. Ben says Odell is a cancer for whichever team gets him. That's bullshit. Packers. Stuck says because DK Metcalf is such a South. Jeff says nobody should want Odell. What he's doing right now is bull. His best chance to win is in the AFC. Snug says OBJ is a perfect rehab project for Belichick. Jeff says OBJ.
Who said the best chance for him is to win in the AFC?
In the AFC.
Who said that?
Jeff.
No, he's wrong about that.
Well,
he's wrong about that.
NFC, you got the Rams. You've got.
Oh, that's the NFC.
That's the NFC.
I'm saying the AFC is easier. In the NFC,
did you see what the Rams did this week? Did you see what the Rams did this week?
Oh, they had a bad game.
They had a bad game against the Tennessee Titans that lost their best player for the full season.
Right. Okay. That's great. The best team in the AFC just
and
lost
they didn't
to the
just
worst
lose.
team in the AFC.
They didn't just lose. They got their butts reamed.
So what? The best team in the AFC just lost to the worst team in the AFC. So what does that mean?
Who said the Buffalo Bills were the best team in the AFC?
People with common sense.
Yeah, okay, common sense. Because I'm going to tell you right now,
On
Josh
paper.
Allen, when it comes to the big game and especially in the playoffs, has not played well.
I told you he was going to take a step back.
He's played.
He's played fine,
He's
but
played
he's not.
well.
He hasn't.
Not like he did last year.
He's an MVP candidate this year.
He hasn't elevated to that next level, though. I think is what he's saying.
I mean, he's having a good season.
Jeff says OBJ should be Beef's assistant manager. Snug says OBJ is the perfect disposition to be a Las Vegas Raider, always a chaotic franchise. And then he also says, well, Aaron Rodgers is always a bit of a diva. And now on the phone, we have Jeff.
Jeff, what's going on, bud?
Errol, I'll tell you why you're flat wrong about Aaron Rodgers.
How are you feeling, by the way, before you say that?
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
I'm sorry
I got
to hear
a blood infection that's shutting down my organs.
That's not good.
All kinds of things happening.
That's not good.
That's definitely not good.
I feel
wishing you the
horrific.
best, Jeff.
Yeah, terrific. I have drugs, so that's all I need.
Well, that's always good. Maybe that's why you got infected.
Listen, you're flat wrong about Aaron Rodgers because here are the facts that you ignore, regardless of my stance on the vaccine, which is irrelevant. The players collectively bargained the rules on which COVID would be handled. Okay? So regardless of the word salad that Aaron Rodgers used, he still went against the rules. Lamar Jackson is not vaccinated. He wears masks to practice and in interviews and things like that. Does Aaron Rodgers? No. That's breaking the rules that they collectively bargained. So regardless of my stance or your stance or anyone's, he's breaking the rules the players agreed on.
So he should be fined. That's really it.
Okay. So here's how ridiculous the NFL is. They fined Aaron Rodgers $14,000 for breaking rules for health and safety protocols.
200 to 300,000. That's what he said.
So they fined the team already.
No, that was the team.
No,
I'm
saying they should fine him. I think they should fine him $200,000 to $300,000.
Okay,
because that will push.
But he got a $14,000 fine.
Yeah,
Did you happen to see CeeDee Lamb's fine this week?
Oh my God, ridiculous!
CeeDee Lamb got fined $20,000 for not tucking his shirt in.
He's been fined I think like 6 games or something like that. Every game he's been fined.
How is it? It's $20,000 for not tucking in your shirt and $14,000 for breaking health and safety protocols that you agreed on.
Listen,
and by the way, which you continue to lie about.
Listen, Jeff, I think you're absolutely right with when it comes to Aaron Rodgers lying about certain things. He should be fined about that. And to me, with $14,000. You can't tell me when you're a multimillionaire, and Aaron Rodgers has had not one but two major big contracts so far in his career, and he's going to have another one after this year. That $14,000 is enough money when you're lying. He should absolutely be fined either $200,000-$300,000. You're absolutely right, and that will probably stop him from actually not wearing his mask. And obviously tell him that, if you're not going to get the shot, you're going to follow and obey by the rules that you signed off on.
But he was intentionally misleading so he wouldn't have to follow the protocol.
So if you were running the NFL right now, what would you do to Aaron Rodgers?
I'd suspend him 4 games.
4 games.
4 games.
I don't see the NFL doing that.
So CeeDee Lamb was fined $5,000 for having his jersey untucked, and then he was found $15,000 for the same violation. So the next time he does it, he'll be fined $46,000.
By the way, when I told you what's going to happen in this game,
$46,000 he'll be fined for the next time he doesn't leave his jersey untucked.
No,
that's crazy.
It doesn't matter. He should be suspended 4 games. This is something you collectively bargained and affects the health of other players. That should be unforgivable.
So you think the NFL is going to go out there knowing that Aaron Rodgers is one of their top 3, top 4 money makers, and they're going to say, you know what? You didn't obey by the rules. We're going to suspend you 4 games.
Is health and safety an issue or isn't it?
I agree with you. I just don't see the NFL doing that. I just can't. I can't see Goodell saying, you know what, I'm going to do that, because they had a problem. Honestly, they had a problem with the whole Brady thing. And how many times did we see that whole and I agree with you, Jeff, when I disagreed with you with the whole thing. After that whole thing happened that year and I read the whole story behind it, Brady should have never been suspended for 4 games.
No,
never.
He got suspended. Dude, he went to court. He won his case.
Yep.
The NFL then appealed, and they won the appeal based on the reasoning that the NFL can suspend anyone for anything, and that's how he got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he was guilty.
No. I understand that. I agree with you totally. But I disagreed with you when when the NFL was really going to drop the hammer on him because of the whole deflate thing. And then I read the whole story behind it, the whole court case and everything like that, even with the phones, the whole phone thing, how him and his wife crushed their phones.
The phone thing's ridiculous too. And not for nothing, the Gruden email situation should just highlight how right Tom Brady was not to give his device over to the NFL. Why? So they can just selectively leak stuff?
No, I agree with you on that. And to me, where I look at the NFL and Roger Goodell and how they do things, I think they do things totally wrong. If they want to crush their phones, they want to get rid of their phones, it's none of their business. Okay, that is their phones. You know what I mean? You can't say, hey, you know what? I want to see your phone. Who gives you the right to look at my phone? Unless
that was basically the premise on why they suspended him.
Yeah, well, I know that, and you have no right to look at my phone. If I didn't commit a sin, I didn't kill somebody, it's none of your business.
Right,
what
should
I'm
require
doing.
a search warrant like anything else.
It's none of your business when I'm texting my wife or my wife texting me. It's none of my business. It's none of the league's business. So I think you're absolutely right. But there are things about this that I think you're right. I think Aaron Rodgers lied. I think he should be fined. Being suspended, even though maybe he should be sent, and I still posted up 2 games. It would be suspended for 2 games. I can't suspend him for a game because
4 games should be the minimum. And forget the fact that Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games, and that is what it is. You got a Cowboys fan in studio. What's up, you puke?
Call a puke, you jackass.
Zeke Elliott got suspended 4 games for nothing.
Yeah, for nothing. That was a joke too.
So if we're suspending people 4 games for nothing, it should be 4 games for breaking health and safety protocols and lying about it. Kind of seems like a big issue.
Oh, it's a huge issue when it comes to the league and it comes from the world. But I don't like how everybody, outside the NFL is attacking him. Listen, if he doesn't want to take
that's what the media does, though.
I'm not even talking about the media.
Well,
I'm talking about
and it shouldn't even matter if his teammates know, because here's the other part of this whole thing. Okay, let's just say that his Green Bay Packers teammates knew exactly what his situation was. Well, the other 7 teams that you've played so far, when you're out in the middle of the field hugging them, don't know after the game. So you're putting them at risk as well.
And I agree with you, but Jeff, if they all are vaccinating, it doesn't matter if they get COVID.
It does matter because
still
it's
get
hard.
it though.
Yeah, they could get it, but they're not going to get the strand of it. They're not going to die from it.
It doesn't, right? But it doesn't matter. It's still part of their health and safety protocols. And whether you die from it or not doesn't mean it doesn't still have an effect on your body. There can be long-term effects to this that we don't even know.
Not only
yet.
that, if you don't know you have it, you could put someone else at risk.
But
They
how
might
about
have
this?
those.
There could be long-term effects if you took the vaccination.
Of course.
So again, that's why people don't want to take it. So there's a lot behind.
People should be taking it because it narrows your risk of dying.
I agree with you now because I got COVID. I was against the COVID vaccine maybe a month ago before I got it. Once I got it, I got sick the way I did. I would agree 100%.
Right, and all of
Everybody
a
should
sudden
have it.
common sense kicked in.
Yeah, because I realized that I don't want to go through that again.
I had it twice and I'm fine.
Yeah, but you don't know if you're 100% fine.
I know.
The difference, Beeve, is it's really a lottery because you don't know how it's going to affect you.
And that's
Because
why,
some
and that's
people
one of my
get it and
reasons for me not wanting to take it because I just don't want to put that stuff in my body right now.
But also to Jeff's point too, because if you don't know if you're an opponent of a team that played against the Packers, who didn't have just Aaron Rodgers too, Alan Lazard was caught with it as well. If you're an opponent that played with the Packers and then you don't know you have it, you could also spread it to somebody who might be unvaccinated or might have a higher risk.
That's the whole point. By not telling everybody whether you're vaccinated or not, you're taking away their choice on whether they want to interact with you or not.
Ben says Bakhtiari is back for D.
And that's the other thing about this is like, everyone's barking about, oh, your right to be vaccinated or not. Fine. What about other people's right to not be exposed to you and your germs?
There's a lot that we can go back and forth about the whole vaccination thing, and I agree with a lot of things that you're saying, Jeff. Because when you look at both sides, you can attack somebody and you can stick up for somebody. But when I look at the big picture and I look at Aaron Rodgers, being that he is one of the faces of the NFL, he's one of the big superstars in the NFL. I don't see Roger Goodell or the NFL suspending him 4 games, even though he failed to follow the protocols that he agreed to. So it's all about money with the NFL, as you know, Jeff, and money talks.
It's not an exact equivalent, right? Because one is clearly, I don't know, they're kind of the same. It can kill you regardless. Why isn't this being looked at the same way Magic Johnson was looked at when he had AIDS? People were mad at Karl Malone, but Karl Malone made a point. I don't want to play against you and watch you get cut open, and I still got to play against you.
Yeah.
If you're not vaccinated, shouldn't I have a choice whether I interact with you or not?
I would agree with you, but AIDS is a lot different than COVID-19.
Yeah, it is a lot different, and then it's harder to get.
Yeah, but at the time, if you get AIDS, you're probably there's a better chance that you're going to die. You know what I mean? There's no cure for AIDS. They're
Tell
right
that
now.
to Magic.
Well, well, that's different now. Now with all the different drugs that they have, if Freddie Mercury was alive and he got AIDS, he'd still be alive right now. He
right,
would.
But with all these people refusing to take the vaccine, and while it's still your right whether you want to take it or not, shouldn't it be my right to know so I can choose whether to interact with you or not?
You're making some good points, Jeff. But again, I can't see the NFL going out there and suspending him. I think they're going if people are going to argue. And listen, Howard Stern is wrong. He's 100% wrong because he's saying that Aaron Rodgers should be suspended for the season. Now, there are other players.
Look, the season's too much. I'm not even going that.
No, he's crazy. He's crazy.
Is that a screw loose?
No, I don't think he has a screw loose.
No, he does have a screw loose.
He's a big. I don't think he does. He's a big sports.
This is the other problem. This is the other problem what people are doing, right? And you're also part of the problem by doing it.
What's that?
People don't have a screw loose just because you disagree with them.
No, Howard Stern is a nut job.
He really is.
But I'm sure you were praising Joe Rogan and all his freaking comments.
No, he's a nut job too.
First of all, Howard Stern is not what you think he is. He's not a nut job. He's a genius. He's a very smart man. And even though he has his own beliefs and he's liberal in his own way of what he says, he also has his own positive thoughts to what he thinks the world should be doing and not should be doing.
Well,
so in that sense, he's not wrong, and he's got his
own
own
thoughts.
thoughts.
All right, I just think he's a
that's
nut job.
That's the whole thing, though, too, B. Just because you're the biggest person on the planet, going, well, that's my opinion. Why can't you let other people have their opinion?
That is it, and I think he's a nut job. I'm not saying that he's wrong or right. I just think he's nuts.
Yeah, but you'll be the first one to cry when someone attacks your opinion.
Me?
Meatball.
I don't cry.
He calls him a meatball.
Why don't you come up here? I'll make you cry. How about that?
No. First of all, you can get in line because I already got a date with someone.
Jeff's already got a guillotine on Tyler.
Which
I already want to fight someone that's too scared to take a date and do it.
And by the way, Howard is a germaphobe, but there's a lot of people in this world right now
Yeah,
that are
I got a buddy
germaphobes.
that's a germaphobe. He wears freaking latex gloves everywhere. It's creepy.
Yeah, so does what's his Howard Goodell? What's not the guy that was on the same show?
Howie Mandel?
Howie Mandel. You want to talk about a germaphobe?
Yeah, he's one of those too.
I mean, he is a OCD
There's
germaphobe.
there's a lot of people like that in the world.
He's like really bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. If you touch his hands, he'll wash it like 6-7 times before he actually puts on his gloves. It's ridiculous.
All I'm saying is, if I was a player in the NFL that played the Packers this year, I'd be pretty jacked off about him lying to me about his status, right? Because.
But Jeff,
people
he's
are
not the
probably
only.
gonna-
He's not the only one that's
He's
done
definitely
this.
not the only one.
I feel like
No,
there's
no,
more
no.
on the team too.
No. But he kind of is though, because the other people that are unvaccinated, they wear masks at practice because there's protocol.
So you think everybody, and there's how many players in the NFL? 300? 350?
Oh, there's way more than that.
I'm just giving a number. Okay.
Yeah, it's 55 on a team, so
all
it's
right,
somewhere in the thousands.
So let's say 3,000.
First
Let's
of
say
all, it's
3,000.
more than 55.
All right, I'm
because
sorry.
You also have a 13-man practice squad.
All right, so let's say 4,000. Okay, 4,000 people in the NFL playing in the NFL. You're going to tell me that Aaron Rodgers is the only one that has lied about being vaccinated? Come on.
He might not be, but the difference is, and I just brought it to you, Lamar Jackson is unvaccinated, and no one cares because he's following the protocols. And if he were to get sick and something were to happen, people would go, well, at least he was following the protocols.
He's been sick twice, I think.
Aaron Rodgers refuses to wear the mask and lied
Yeah,
about
but they don't wear
it. And
masks
didn't
when they're
give-
playing during the games.
Yeah,
So
Lamar to miss a game last year. I think who was it? Trace McSorley that had to play or something like that.
You're absolutely
I'm just trying because they go to practice.
You're right, but that's part of the collectively bargained experience there.
But it doesn't make any
When
sense.
you're-
I have to
when-
wear a mask at practice, but when I play a game, I don't have to wear a mask. That doesn't make any logical sense.
You have a helmet on.
That's not protecting you.
Whether it makes sense to you or not, those are the rules.
I understand what the rules are, but it just doesn't make it.
Well, then they would have had to
at
modify
all.
the helmets, but you're still playing with the helmets during the game, which they did last year too. They didn't change the
It-
helmet specifically for it.
Yeah, but you could still breathe on each other. You're on a big
Okay,
pile. You're
sure.
on top of each other.
Technically,
I mean,
yes.
It's
In the laws of physics, yeah.
yes. So it just doesn't make any logical sense.
But if you're in a press conference with a microphone, it's different.
But he's the only one not following the rules and lying about it, though.
Yeah,
No one else is lying about it.
How do we
Is
know
anyone
that?
saying Cole Beasley should be suspended? He's been very vocal about not getting it, and no one's suggesting he gets suspended. Why? Because he follows the rules.
I get it.
I also look at the big picture of the way the NFL is trying to, add protocols and put protocols in. And honestly, I think finally the NFL has it right. I mean, with the CTE situation,
Well, yes.
and what they've been taking over the last couple of years. Now they're trying to use their protocol to protect the players. Finally, they're trying to do the right thing for the players. So I think you're right in that kind of way where they're trying to protect the players. Jeff, the one thing I disagree with you is when you're looking at a player, a face of the face of the game and a face of of the league, one of the faces of the league. I can't see the NFL in the middle of the season saying, you know what, we're going to suspend you for 4 games because you failed to follow the protocol. I can't see them doing that.
The other thing that I find strikingly funny about this is there was a whole section of this country, Bede, you were one of them, that wanted an NFL player thrown out of the league and fired from his job for being disrespectful, right? Get rid of Colin Kaepernick. He's disrespectful. Isn't it just
He
as
is
disrespectful?
He is disrespectful.
Okay, so why aren't you calling for Aaron Rodgers' job? Isn't he being equally
He's
as
not being
disrespectful?
disrespectful. How?
Yes, he is. He's lying and breaking health and safety
Lying and
protocols.
disrespectful are 2 different things.
By the way,
First of all, no. That is disrespect to other people's health. That is disrespectful.
Again,
You don't know how it could spread because it's not just the players themselves. It's
That
everyone
is
else that could be
disrespectful to
impacted.
other people's health. And it's funny how one person, his disrespect is like, oh, just let him go. And then the other person's perceived disrespect is, fire him, throw him out of the league, and he got a contract with Nike. Let's boycott them. Funny how you put one on a pedestal and the other one you want to burn.
No, that's not true. It's two different things.
By the way,
disrespect is disrespect, Pete.
By the way, did you guys watch the Colin Kaepernick thing on Netflix?
No.
Did you, Jeff?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good. I really, because honestly, and I with everything that you look at Colin Kaepernick, everybody's put a hex on him because of what he did in the kneeling situation. But if you get to know, you watch the story and the story behind Colin Kaepernick and why he looks at the world completely different, go watch the black and white a documentary that he did about himself. You would see, how blind his adopted family was with the whole racism that he was around. It's you want to look at, when you look at somebody, and I do believe in this country there's a lot of racism, but there's also a lot of anti-Semitic people.
There is.
There are a lot of people that look at, and when I look at the big picture, when you look at a lot of people and a lot of people moving into big high positions, with women, a lot of people thought, before it's really changed over the last 10, 15 years, that our country was so sexist that there were no presidents or vice presidents of companies. Now you're seeing tons of companies like right now, Nike, their vice president of Nike is a woman. Would that have happened, 15, 20 years ago? No, there's no way in hell that would be accepted. Now the world is different. So now when you talk, even with gays, homophobia and all that other stuff, now it's okay for, gay people to walk down the street and hold hands. But in the old, maybe 10, 15 years ago, somebody would throw something at them or throw a water balloon at them, and it's become more natural and more open.
I think 5 years ago, there was a
That's what we should
cake
do
parlor
all
that
the time.
wouldn't let them get a wedding cake for a lesbian wedding.
Yeah.
That's what we should do all the time. Every time we see Pete, we should just hit him with water balloons.
Yeah.
I mean,
good try.
I think that when you look at the world and how the world has changed, and you really see it in Colin Kaepernick's eyes when you're watching his documentary and his story. It's very interesting, and I completely look at when I look at Colin Kaepernick after watching that documentary, I look at him differently. I really do, because honestly, if you know what he went through and what he was going through as a young kid and what he was dealing with, being that he was adopted by a white family and he was never looked at as a connected, normal person, because every time he would go out to a grocery store, every time he would go to a baseball game, when they would drive to the airport or something like that, people would look at him because his parent, they thought his parents were like, he was like a kind of like a slave, like how he wasn't looked at as their son. And when they said that, oh, that's our son, he'd be like, they would look at him like, why are you guys white and he's black? You know what I mean? And when he was kneeling, and he really explained why he was doing it. He wasn't kneeling to disrespect.
That is disrespecting the flag.
I understand that in our way, in a lot of people's way.
That can be your narrative,
Yes.
but it's actually freedom of speech as well.
What he was doing,
it's not freedom of speech.
what he was kneeling to was
It is freedom
racism.
of speech. Even the Supreme Court has ruled burning the flag is free
No, it's not. No, anyone who burns his flags needs to leave this damn country.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
would. Nobody.
Listen, that can be your opinion, but
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
It's morals versus legals, though.
Exactly. It's protected under law. Even if you wanted to burn the flag.
I agree with you. I wouldn't kneel or burn the flag, but it's not illegal.
He wasn't kneeling to disrespect the country.
Well,
and that's what he was trying to explain.
He did
And
disrespect the country.
Yes,
by doing
in a
it.
lot of people's ways, as soldiers, and even soldiers, a lot of soldiers agreed to what he was doing on the way.
Yeah, there was one that was actually involved in influencing the decision too.
Yes.
But this is what's so directly funny about that argument. You're arguing that he was disrespectful of the country. Well, Aaron Rodgers is being disrespectful to actual other Americans by not disclosing his status and not following the rules.
Yes, and
So
if you
want to crucify,
I'm going to go back to it again. You have to wear a mask in practice, but on the football field, you don't have to wear a mask. So to me, there's no reason to wear a mask at all. So there you go.
Right. Except it's against the rules.
But that's what makes the rules stupid, because it doesn't make any logical sense.
It does make logical sense.
How does it make logical sense when you have to wear a mask in practice, but when I'm playing the game, you don't have to wear one? It doesn't make any logical sense.
You're trying to minimize the
No,
risk.
it just doesn't make sense at all. The rules are just dumb because it don't make any logical sense.
Beef, you have Netflix?
Yes.
Okay, check out the if you have a chance. I know you don't like
I will not watch him.
Why? Because it's
No,
it's
I will
really
not
not
watch
what you.
him. He's a disrespectful person.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you're not supporting what his documentary is about. You're supporting the fact that you don't know the truth behind the
This
fake.
goes back to exactly what I said a minute ago.
It's what
where you're the biggest person.
it's what he's done, and I will not watch any part of him.
But this
But he wasn't the only player that did that.
What's that?
He wasn't the only player.
I understand that, but he was the one that was the most vocal about
How
it.
about the Cowboys? They didn't do it.
They didn't kneel.
Nobody kneeled.
Jerry Jones said that he will.
Yes, they did. The whole team kneeled.
Yeah,
The whole
no,
team kneeled.
they
Even
kneeled
Jerry
for a
Jones
second,
did.
and then they stood for the flag when
But
it
they
was
did
being
kneel.
sung.
They did kneel.
Before, not during the anthem, they didn't.
But they kneeled.
They didn't kneel to disrespect the flag, though.
That they kneel.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous.
Do you know how the kneeling even came about, Beef? Do you know how it even came about?
It doesn't matter what came about. When that national anthem is being sung, you do not kneel for that flag.
There was a military member involved.
It was a military member that said, "Don't sit, at least kneel. That'll be more
No,
respectful."
you don't kneel.
And that's what
It's
and that's how the kneeling came
disrespectful.
about. Is he listened to a military member?
It's disrespectful.
There were players that sat too. I remember that.
That's disrespectful.
The first year, at least.
Sorry.
In 2017,
it's
when everyone was
disrespectful.
doing it.
Honestly, and
in my eyes, it's disrespectful.
Beef, I got a lot of
so.
respect for you, but I disagree with you.
But again,
you
it's
can
a
disrespect
moral
me
versus a
all you
legal
want,
thing.
but-
And I agree with
I am
you,
not,
but I'm not.
and I'm not. We're not talking about
illegal.
politics.
No,
I'm not liberal or any of that
this is
stuff.
why I don't like to get into this. Because then I get all hot-headed.
but hold on one second. We're talking as just normal sports.
I
radio
understand that,
guys.
but in my eyes, it's disrespectful, and that's it. So
But Aaron Rodgers isn't being disrespectful about lying about his vaccination status. He's not putting anyone at risk.
first of all, no one should know whether you are or you're not, because it's your right to not disclose your health to somebody.
You have no right to put other people at risk at things.
He's not putting anybody at risk because you're playing on the football field.
If you're
With
unmasked in a
with
press conference,
no
you don't know if
mask.
the media members are vaccinated either.
Give me a break.
Right. Right.
They
That's
probably
exactly
are,
it.
but you can't guarantee anything. And
No.
whoever's surrounding it, fans, you don't know who's vaccinated and who's not.
Putting all those people.
So
at
then
risk
don't
by
have
not
fans come to
following
the game then. How about that?
Well, they have to.
and
They
you-
actually have to.
You have 150,000 people at
But the
a
fans have
college
to.
football
The
game.
fans have to
all
show
over each other.
The fans
and-
have to show verification that they're vaccinated too.
Oh, you think
though.
all those fans are vaccinated? Get the hell out
Yeah,
of
I'm
here.
sure there's some that are faking it too. I'm
No.
not denying that,
Yeah,
but I'm
get
just
the
saying
hell
that's
outta here.
most fans
Half
are.
the stadium's probably not vaccinated.
Okay, but regardless, you're still exposing them if you're open doing an
That's
open
why none of
press
this. That's why none of
conference.
this makes any sense.
Okay, you're still exposing yourself doing an open press conference.
Sorry.
On the football field, you have a helmet, which again, you're right, it doesn't completely
helmet.
protect you, but it's still somewhat something
Doesn't
over,
protect you
over
at
being
all.
unmasked. Yes, I'm not saying
whether you
Jeff,
think
I'm just saying.
whether you think it's right or not.
You're going by the rules. It just doesn't make any. When you really think about it, it don't make any sense.
Jeff is right though, because you're exposing yourself a lot more in a press conference.
You're
where
exposing yourself when you're on the field.
not as much.
Yes, you are. What are you talking about?
You don't play with the helmets off.
All right, so why don't we get off the
God.
topic? I want to get into this whole Panthers and Sam Darnold thing. Did anybody see what Robbie Anderson did on the sidelines in the fourth quarter? Did anybody see that?
No.
Yeah, he went nuts on Darnold.
He went nuts on Darnold. He threw his third interception. He was trying to get the ball. Now, he tried to force the ball to Robbie Anderson because he was demanding the ball in the huddle. Okay? He forced the ball. He threw an interception, and they pulled him out of the game. Okay? Now, what Robbie Anderson did on video was disrespectful, uncalled for,
I
and
didn't see it, so
unprofessional.
explain.
Okay? And if you actually see, if you read his lips when he was passing Sam didn't say anything to him. Sam completely ignored him, but he was
turned away and put on a
he's been
baseball.
playing. He's been playing terrible. So why would he say anything to him?
yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Robbie Anderson isn't playing good either.
Yeah.
No, well,
First of all, he's the
but the
quarterback.
don't
of the
play
team.
good. The wide receiver don't play
Yeah,
good.
but you don't go to the
Moore's playing
You don't
fine.
go to Beef. You don't go to the quarterback, and being that he's your starting quarterback and yelling and I don't know what he was saying, but he was saying some derogatory, disgusting things.
What
to
did
him.
he say to him?
What I said, he curses and said some disrespectful things to him. I mean, but I'm not
I
going to
give
say
Robbie Anderson a lot of credit.
Why would you
What?
give Robbie Anderson a lot of credit?
T.O.'s done it.
Because he had because
Beckham's done
Robbie
it.
Anderson had the balls to say it to his face and not have his daddy put out a highlight video.
I honestly, if Robbie Anderson has something to say, he should say it to the whole team, not
Yes.
just one player.
Yes.
You know,
Dude, they were all standing there on the sideline.
No, it was just him. First of all, it was Sam Darnold. He turned his back, and then Robbie Anderson went back and forth.
Dude, there were other players there.
Yes, there were the other quarterback, the backup quarterbacks. There was
coaches standing there. And fights on the sidelines happen all the time. At least he didn't have his daddy put out a highlight video. Like I'm a tough guy. My daddy had to help me.
Are you talking about Odell Beckham?
Who else am I talking about?
I don't know, because there's a lot of daddies in this league, especially Jamal Adams. Remember that? He was crying in his room, and his father knocked on the door and told the Jets that you should trade him. Come on,
there's been plenty of players that have yelled at quarterbacks on the sideline. AB did it with Roethlisberger.
Now they all done it. T.O. did it. Who else? Des Bryant did it. Come on, they all done it.
They all did it. And while you might think it's disrespectful, and that's fair, at least he had the ball.
Tyler, you are on the show. You should be getting involved in the conversation.
I wasn't getting involved in that whole vaccine.
I'm not talking. We're not talking about that.
And now everyone else is going.
And we're talking about Sam Darnold. We're talking about the Panthers.
Right.
By the way, the Patriots completely destroyed him. And Sam Darnold's probably on his way out to be a backup quarterback in the league.
How fitting is it that the boogeymen ruined him as a Jet and then ruined him as a Panther?
Well, he's been ruined for the last 5 games, man. I mean, he started off 3-0.
But the Patriots ended his Jets career, and now they're ending his Panthers career. Bill Belichick is an evil genius.
He's an evil genius.
If he wasn't one already with other players and other teams.
Think about how beautiful this sentiment is. Sam Darnold can't beat anybody, but he can hang 40 on the Jets in week 1, can he?
God.
He barely beat the Jets, okay? So...
And
that was Robbie Anderson's
probably only
good game.
He won 3 games in a row before he lost.
Where do the Panthers go from
That was
here
Robbie
now with
Anderson's
Darnold?
only good game, though.
And they're 4-5, so he won 4 games out of the 5. So you're wrong, Jeff. I mean,
he also played well against the Vikings too, even though they lost.
No, because he had McCaffrey. He had a healthy McCaffrey. That's why
he also played well against the Vikings, even a loss.
That's it.
You can't blame one player. And I said this to everybody, and I told everybody. McCaffrey really hid the deficiencies of Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold. The problem with Sam is he forced the ball in certain areas of the field where he shouldn't be, and he's doing it again with the Carolina Panthers, and that's why the Jets didn't think he was the quarterback
of the future.
So where
do the Panthers go from here now?
They keep Sam Darnold, obviously.
They have no choice. He has one more year left, and he's got to try.
They gave a second and a fourth to the Jets. He's definitely going to be a part of this roster.
24.
He's very young, and they gave him one more year, so they have to at least try him that one more year. But they might still plan on doing something else too, though. Between other veteran quarterbacks that could be available, they could draft a project type guy in the draft. There's options for them, but this year it's going to be hard for them.
They shouldn't do any of that. He's not good, but he's good enough to be a backup. If Cooper Rush can be in this league, Sam Darnold will play for 30 years.
Listen, I look at Sam Darnold. I still think he could play in this league. He's not having a good season. I think he has 4 running touchdowns. I think he has 11 interceptions to 7 touchdowns that he's thrown this year. Those numbers would show you that he's had, counting those running touchdowns, he has more touchdowns than throwing interceptions. That's not saying much. But again, he's coming from a new offense. Matt Rule, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna attack Matt Rule. As good as everybody thought Matt Rule had a year last year, they were 6-10 last year.
They were 6-10. They hung tough with a lot of good teams.
It doesn't matter. They were 6-10 this year. They're 4-5. If Matt Rule has another losing season, when are we going to talk about Matt Rule losing his job? Because you're giving away, you gave up a second and a fourth for Sam Darnold. You thought that he could be the quarterback of the future.
You had to take a shot.
Listen, I still think he could be, but maybe Matt Rule isn't the guy. Maybe the offense doesn't fit Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, 59.5 completion percentage this year, 7 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
How many running?
And then 1986 yards.
4 running.
He has rushing touchdowns.
4, I'm telling you. I looked at it. It was 4.
Oh, 5 he actually has this year.
5
rushing touchdowns this year. And 150 something yards.
The fact is that when you look at Robbie Anderson, first of all, last year he had a great season.
151.
He had a great season. This year he's having a crappy season. You're going to blame Sam Darnold that you're having a crappy season, or you're just not playing well?
No,
okay?
He's not playing well either. He hasn't evolved.
He had a lot of drops too. He was dropping a lot of balls lately.
He dropped a lot of balls so far, Jeff. I mean, he's getting his looks. He's getting looked at 7 to 8 times a game. That's a lot for a wide receiver as a third option.
He's not developing as a route runner. It seemed like he was a little bit last year too. He hasn't taken that next step. Like Beav was saying, dropped a lot of passes. A lot of it's on.
You're going to blame that Christian McCaffrey isn't in the offense? Give me a break. And now Christian McCaffrey's a great player. By the way, I heard stories that if they're interested, they said something about Deshaun Watson, that they would be interested in trading McCaffrey in the trade for Deshaun Watson. There was stories coming out.
Why would you not do that?
I understand that, but Christian McCaffrey, why would the Texans do that when Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy?
It's true.
Not only that, they have like how much money invested in all these other veteran running backs.
And
that's the one position they don't really need to work at right now to build. McCaffrey's got a good amount of years left.
Much more than
the
Saquon
Texans
Barkley.
need so much though. They can't start on a running back.
Saquon Barkley just had
He's
a
done with the
major.
Giants.
He had a major injury last year, tearing his ACL and MCL. That's huge for a running back, first of all, with a guy that has big legs. Saquon Barkley, and I told this to Giant fans when they drafted him, he's a great player. He wasn't if you're going to go after a running back early in the first round, you got to hope that your team is practically built and ready to win a championship, and that's all you're missing. Saquon Barkley he's been their best player for the last 3 years, and he barely plays.
Yeah.
So having a player, and he's your best player, and on the depth charts, he is their best player. If he's considered their best player, he should be playing. He's not playing. So what use is he? So, and that's what I'm saying. Say what you want about Christian McCaffrey. He's played more games. He's been more dominant.
Most of his injuries have been minor too. And this is another thing that Matt Rule, I think, is going to be in some hot water for if he ends up being on the hot seat going into next season. If they don't make the playoffs this year, he's also said he's going to come back on many different times, and how much of that affects the game planning, also his confidence. There's a lot of things that go into that. He was supposed to be back in week 6, and then they extended the injury, put him back on the IR. Last year, the same thing too. He was supposed to be back, I think, in the middle of the season or week 12, and then they extended him out for the rest of the year. Granted, they weren't contending that year, but that's not a good look for in terms of McCaffrey even wanting to stay there too, because he's going to have leverage. Players have leverage.
I have to give the Patriots a lot of credit. They have say what you want about them, and I am not a Patriot fan. I can't stand them. With a rookie quarterback, their defense, what's playing well is their front seven. They've been fantastic, and a team that over the last couple of years have been more a secondary team. They've turned into a front seven, and they're front seven. And by the way, that move bringing in what's his name again from the Baltimore Ravens, Judon has been one of the biggest pickups in the offseason. He's been
for nothing. They've been sneaky. Their record could be a whole lot better.
Yes,
they played the Cowboys close.
Yes.
They if that ball doesn't hit the upright, they beat
they're
the
dangerous.
Buccaneers.
Right. The Patriots are dangerous.
That their record on listen, they're
the Saints are their only bad loss.
4-4. Right, like they're 5-4 or whatever they are, or whatever that.
Yep,
record
and the
is,
Saints are their only bad loss right now.
Right, but honestly, a couple of those games go the other way, which they could. Beav and I had talked about this. The Cowboys-Patriots game could have gone either way, regardless of how we feel either of our teams played in that.
Well, I think the Cowboys should have lost that game. So.
Right, but we'd be having a whole different conversation about this if they win 2 of those games.
Sure, absolutely.
They're 7-2. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
With a rookie quarterback, and he's starting to figure things out. And again, I think Mac Jones is a perfect fit when it comes to that offense with McDaniels, and they will win with Mac Jones. They can absolutely win with him, but their running game they have to figure out. And the last couple of weeks, Harris has played very, very well, and I like Harris.
He's going to miss next week.
Yeah, I saw that, but I want to get into the Cowboys. And listen, I know a lot of people. A lot of people are taking shots at the Cowboys because Dak Prescott's return. He did not look good against the Broncos.
Should have held him out one more week.
I don't even think it was Dak Prescott's fault.
They lost me a bunch of money this last week.
The running game was horrible. They couldn't run the ball.
And so was the passing. He couldn't throw.
Zeke said his 2 worst career games against the Broncos.
The Cowboys' running game was horrible. And if you can't open up the field, then you know you're going to throw the ball, and that puts Dak Prescott in harm's way.
It does, but he didn't look good when he was throwing the ball.
The offensive line looked like crap, bro.
Exactly.
They couldn't protect.
And so did their defense.
They couldn't protect the nosebleed.
Their defense was terrible also.
Well, again, we all believe. I mean, a lot of Cowboys fans think that this defense is as good as it's been the last 5 or 6 weeks. This defense was expected to do this year.
Not this good, though.
No, not this good. But
I'm
also,
saying that they weren't supposed to be good, and I don't really think they're that good.
They're still showing that they're only driven on a couple players.
They just had 30 hung on them by the Broncos.
I know. It's terrible.
Honestly,
they laid an egg. Yeah,
they can't lay an egg when they're right now expected to be one of the favorites to come out of the NFC.
They won 6 in a row. Okay,
listen. I love
you're
Dak
as wrong
Prescott.
as wrong can be. They can lay as many eggs as they want because all they got to do is break 500 and they're going to win their division.
Oh, they're going to win their division easy, hands down. I mean, nobody in that division. But watch out. Why if they start losing? Watch out for the Giants because they beat the Raiders this week, and their schedule is going to get a little bit easier.
So is the Cowboys.
Dude, they beat the Raiders this week because
I understand.
Their coach quit.
I understand.
Right? Their wide receiver murdered someone. And oh, by the way,
we called it. Didn't we pick the Giants? I think we both did.
You said the Raiders were going to win.
Yeah, yes, but when we did the picks, I picked the Giants, and so did when we did the picks on our show.
Yeah, I
picked
thought
the
it was going to be
Giants.
too much traveling across country with the whole Henry Ruggs thing. And little did we know about the Damon Arnett situation.
Oh,
My
God.
goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, say whatever you want. The Giants are 3-6. If they win their game next. Who do they play next week?
Tampa. They're off.
Giants are on bye this week.
Yeah, but I mean the week after.
Tampa Bay.
They play Tampa, and they play Tampa very well. Last year they played Tampa. They almost won.
Mm-hmm.
They almost won. And
They're
that
still going to get smoked.
They could. They could.
The
But
Cowboys got Atlanta this week. So
all right. Well, Atlanta just beat the
Saints.
The Saints. So that's not saying much.
Kyle Pitts goes for 250.
I mean, when you look at the.
Like I said, the Cowboys should have held out Dak. I think they should have held him out one more week and then let him get more healthier, and then they should have played him against Atlanta this week.
Of course they should have held him out. They had a passing superstar like Cooper Rush. To 325.
Oh, man. But like I said, the defense was terrible. Defense was horrible.
Yeah, but this highlights Dak's whole career, right?
No, here we go.
Because when it mattered, he threw for 79 yards, and he ended up with 230. Why?
And
garbage time. Garbage time stat padding.
Just that one game.
Cooper Rush would never do that.
Another game that I was very surprised about was the Browns. Really, and I thought the Bengals were going to come out strong, especially losing against the Jets. Here we go. What?
Here we go. I know, not you per se, but I know what everyone's going to
say. What?
Look, Odell left, and now they're playing better.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying you said it, but I guarantee you half the audience just went, that's because Odell left.
I don't think there's anything to do with Odell.
You want to know what? I'm going to say it because there's more history there, Tyler, than just this 1 week. You go back to last year, they stunk with Odell Beckham. He got hurt and he missed the rest of the season. The Browns got better.
How about Nick Chubb coming back and running 14 carries, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, dominating the line of scrimmage, which we expected that. And Nick Chubb is a superstar right in front of our eyes. He ran every time he touched the ball. It was 9.8.
Who's out for next week?
I'm sorry.
Who's out for next week?
Yep, him and Dearness Johnson got COVID.
And Felton.
But that's not what I'm not talking about next week. I'm talking about this week. And if you look at what the Bengals, I thought was going to come out strong, losing
two bad weeks in a row,
losing a game against the Jets where they were expected to win. They were a lot of people thought they were the hottest team in football, and they were the best team in the AFC at one point, and then they lose that.
Don't the Jets just do that? Like, no disrespect to anyone. I realize
I know you're going to bring it up.
No. But don't the Jets just do that? Like, don't they just win a game that they have no business winning like every year? Like, they beat the Cowboys last year. Should they have won that football game? Probably not. Like, should they have beat the Bengals? No, probably not.
I mean, they beat the Browns and the Rams last year, and they still both did well in the playoffs.
Sometimes, like, here's the thing with the Jets for me anyways, right? Like, you ever see that kid that comes home with his report card and he gets 5 Ds and an A, and you're like, but you showed so much potential. Why don't you apply yourself?
But what does that have anything to do with what we're talking about? Why are you bring up the Jets?
No, because the Bengals lost because the Jets just beat, like, they have a game every year.
They just didn't just beat the Bengals. They really completely dominated that game throughout the game. Yes, they won. They barely won by a field goal. But if you look at the game, especially in the fourth quarter,
they played good, man.
They dominated that game. They dominated the fourth quarter. And the defense, and then they laid up a dud this past week against a Colts team that they should have beaten. So
imagine if they had a quarterback. They'd be so good.
But imagine if they had Cooper Rush.
But how about shut up, Speedy? How about the Jaguars?
Cooper Rush.
How about the Jaguars knocking off the Bills? And that was, to
upset
me,
of the decade.
That was the upset of the week.
And it was only field goals kicked. It was only field goals kicked in that game.
Doesn't matter. The way the Jaguars play defense.
No,
the way
I'm just saying
Josh
it's
Allen
crazy
played.
that it was only field goals in that game.
But that's what I'm saying. Josh Allen, a lot of people think is an MVP candidate, and I'm talking about the quarterback, not the defensive tackle, defensive end. I'm talking about the quarterback, and everybody says, oh, look at this guy, the development of this guy. And then he lays up a lousy goose egg against a team that had no business beating them. No business.
He's done that 3 times now because I get it was week 1, but he laid an egg against Pittsburgh in week 1.
Yeah.
Dude, all of his losses have been horrific losses. Like when they win, they look great.
He's
but
too
when he
inconsistent
loses,
this
woof.
year.
He's too inconsistent all the time. And in the big game, go watch Josh Allen in the big game. Look at what he did in the Kansas City game last year in the AFC title game. He didn't play well in the game before that. So him and Lamar Jackson, until they prove to me that they can win the big game, they're not good playoff players. They're not good under pressure. And that's a huge problem when you're expected to win and expected to be a championship competitive team. So I don't trust Lamar Jackson going into, with Baltimore this year, going into the playoffs if they make the playoffs. And I definitely don't trust Josh Allen because let's be honest, just look at the background of this team. Both players have been in the league for what, 3-4 years? And how many wins do they have in the playoffs? I mean, Josh Allen has more wins.
Allen has one. Allen has one. No, Allen has two. And then Lamar has one, but he didn't play well in that game.
Yes. I mean, they're not good playoff players. You say what you want about Pat Mahomes and how he's playing this year. He's won in the playoffs, and that's the difference.
But you can't. Right, but here you can't do that to Josh Allen because that's really unfair. Because, dude, the Bills have been horrific for the better part of 25 years. Right, so Josh Allen even making the playoffs, they should throw him a parade in that shit town in upstate New York, right? At least Baltimore
there's nothing to be involved in.
The other thing too is I think Josh Allen, even though he's struggled most of the game statistically, he still played well in certain points where you're saying, okay, this guy at least can make some good decisions when it comes to that. Even the Texans game that they lost, he still tied the game in the fourth quarter. I think he had a touchdown catch in the playoffs. So he still played well in other areas. So, but he still, like Errol's saying, he still has to get that consistency element where he's still trying to maybe extend the play more than he should or force feed something. And he still had those kinds of woes in certain games as a result. Now, Lamar, I think when it comes to him, he's just had mostly bad performances as a whole, where even in the one game they won last year, he had that one long, nice rushing touchdown, but he wasn't very consistently on that.
Also, the Rams game, the Tennessee Titans Rams game, and say what you want, and the Rams, they gave away their future. The next 2 years, the Rams don't have any future. And Sean McVay, I don't care what anybody says. You brought Von Miller, you brought Matthew Stafford, you brought the players that you wanted on this roster to win. If this team plays like they did against a Tennessee Titan team that lost their best player for the season, they brought in an aging Adrian Peterson. And let's be honest, I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. I know, Jeff, you don't. I'm sure everybody in this studio doesn't believe in Ryan Tannehill. If it's left on his arm and making the play at the end of the game, they're going to win. This team is not. They're not going to win. I picked this team with Derrick Henry to go to the Super Bowl. There's no way this team is going to the Super Bowl. And what they did against the LA Rams this past week, they embarrassed them. And I'm not going to blame Matthew Stafford because he didn't have a good game. And I'm not going to blame Cooper Kupp because he's been the best wide receiver in football this year. But I'm going to blame the coaching and Sean McVay's play calling. And why did you stop running the ball? Why did you stop running the ball when you were running the ball very, very well in the first quarter? And yes, you fell behind. But if you ran the ball and you dominated the clock and opened up the field a little bit more, you might have been able to open up the field for your wide receivers. So Sean McVay is, to me, he's on the hot seat because if this team doesn't go at least to the NFC title game, there's a good chance he could be fired. You put your whole future on the line to win this year. And Von Miller gave up a second and a fourth.
He's a rental.
They gave him a second. They gave the Broncos a second and fourth for a rental player that you're not re-signing next year.
They might bring him back.
They're not bringing him back.
No, Von Miller
very hard.
Not be back.
He's going to want money. He's still one of the best pass rushers in the league. He's got six and a half, 7 sacks already.
The Rams lead the league in hitting the quarterback anyway. So
but they brought him in to dominate, to win.
Right.
They want to win.
You're
right. Sometimes having all those star players doesn't make you win.
Yeah. And if you don't win, I mean, what is Sean McVay's excuse then? What is it? Because he made a lot of excuses after the Super Bowl against the Patriots when you were the best offensive team by far in the league, and then you lay up a lousy goose egg and you score 3 points, three points against the Patriots and embarrass yourself. Okay. Embarrass yourself in a Super Bowl, which is one of the lowest Super Bowl scoring games we've ever seen.
Yep.
Okay. So Sean McVay, who everybody says is a genius, the boy genius, the offensive genius, who gave away. Now it's not just him; he was a part of it. Obviously, the GM there is throwing away, but he probably went to Sean and said, listen, if I give up a second or fourth, do you want Von Miller? Is Von Miller a good fit? Yeah, we have a chance to win. Matthew Stafford was definitely Sean McVay's pick. He wanted Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but he didn't have a bad game. I mean, 31 for 48, 294.
That was his worst game of the year.
Almost 300 yards thrown. That's not a bad game.
No,
but half that's garbage time.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
give
played like garbage.
I don't give a crap. When you're playing a team that has lost their best player, that is right now just surging and kind of limping, and now you didn't just lose, you got crushed.
Yeah, their defense
at
played
home.
Good. Tennessee's defense played good.
Tennesssee's defense stinks.
But I know they say, but they played good that
They
game.
play well against good teams this year, believe it or not. It's a good offense.
That's not an excuse to a team that's
Not saying
expected.
it's an excuse.
They're
I'm
the
just saying they
favorites
played well.
right now. Going into this week, they were the favorites of winning the Super Bowl. Are you going to pick them to be the favorites after losing a game at home against the Tennessee Titans? Not in a long shot. And Sean McVay, if I'm going to blame something on anybody on that game, I'm blaming Sean McVay. The play calling was horrible in the game. It was horrible.
So you can't put that on Stafford then.
I just told you, Sean McVay. And I'm telling you right now, I cannot, if I was running this, if I was the owner of this team and I gave away my future, they gave away their whole future. They don't have a pick until the 5th or 4th round this coming year. That's it. They got 1 draft pick this year, and they've got 2 net the year after.
I mean, they did that, so now
because they don't have first round
you would have
picks
to
for the next
sign
2
Von
years.
Miller if you were going to do that. Then, if you're giving away your whole future, then you have to sign
that's going to be
him.
hard too because they don't have a lot of money.
I know they don't have a lot of money, but giving away your whole future means I want to sign a guy.
They're not re-signing Von Miller.
I know
they're
not
too much money.
Of course,
they have a lot of money invested in Donald.
So then why make that move?
And Ramsey because they want to win.
I understand they want, but they didn't need him to win.
Listen, another guy, and we've seen Von Miller in the playoffs.
Yes.
Von Miller's a different player.
He's a dominant player, yes.
He's a different player. He could take over a game. So, and he's not the same Von Miller, but he's still a player that is dangerous and open, and I expect him to put a lot of pressure. But it's going to take Von Miller a little bit to understand this defense. Nevertheless, you're going at home. You're playing at home against a Tennessee Titan team that's depleted, that has a 38-year-old running back that hasn't played all season long for almost, 6-7 months?
He had a touchdown
and
in
he
that
had
game.
a touchdown and still ran the ball decent. I mean, come on. I mean, it's an embarrassment. And Sean McVay's excuse at the end of the game is horrible. It's horrible. You know what he said? He said, listen, we have some kinks that we need to fill in. Kinks that we need to fill in? Listen, if you're going to trade away your roster and you're going to trade away your future for a roster that you expect to win, you don't make that excuses to the fans or to the media because the media will eat you up alive. Yep. It's an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. And you want to know something? I don't think that this team has a lot of deficiencies. And when they have Henderson running the ball the way they did, and they have, why aren't they running him more? It doesn't make sense. When in the beginning of the game, he was running the ball very well. And then they stopped running the ball. And they were still in the lead early in the game. Why didn't they run the ball? Because Sean McVay's problem is, I know Cooper Kupp is so great. You're force-feeding the ball to Cooper Kupp every other play. And teams are starting to figure that out. He's great. Cooper Kupp is special. I mean, the way they found him in the 4th round. And Jeff, I think you were the one, I remember you were the one that said that you thought Cooper Kupp was going to be star in this league when they drafted him. I don't know why I'm hyping up what you said, but I remember when he was drafted, and you were telling Matty Caps, I remember on 3rd and long that you were telling Matty Caps that this kid's going to be special.
Mikey C.
I mean, I've been pretty spot on with all the draft picks, though. So
well, I give you a lot of credit when it comes to college because you know a lot about college football, but let's be honest. The LA Rams.
When I told Speedy he was going to love Kadarius Toney, how right was I?
Well,
so far so good. He's just going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
When I told you Zaven Collins is going to be like the best unknown player in the draft, how right was I?
Yes, I know you have this Hall of Fame ticket already.
When I told you look out for Rondale Moore, how's that working out? Pretty good.
Now I will go this route with the Chicago Bears.
Oh, that game was just horrible.
The
Colts.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. And Mike Tomlin, with all his happiness and smiling like they won the Super Bowl, that for him to go after the game and said that was like a playoff game, and how the Pittsburgh Steelers were so damn happy. I know they're only one game out of their division. It's crazy to say how the Steelers have played this year. They have a chance if Baltimore loses next week and the Steelers win, the Steelers are in first place.
I think I picked them to go to the playoffs. I think.
I mean,
yeah, there's no obvious team
as
right
bad
now
as the season is, as bad as Roethlisberger has looked and old he's looked. I mean, they
but
still
did you
win the
actually
division.
see that game?
Yeah, I watched the game.
Did you see all the penalties went up against the Bears? That was horrible.
By the way, Justin Fields played very well in the end of the game. He played very well. And that was the best that we've seen Justin Fields. And if he plays that way.
taunting call was such BS.
It's
He
fine.
won a game, technically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the field goal kicker, I believe the Chicago Bears win that game.
I mean, the highlight of that entire game was the referee absolutely laying a perfect hip check on Travis Marshall. I mean, absolutely textbook. Stood up, went shoulder to shoulder, no hit to the head. That's a perfect check.
You learned from the Big 12 referees, so that's all they know how to do to make sure there's defense in their conference.
I think we saw what Justin Fields is going to be if he plays that way in the NFL. That was his best game. You know, like when you saw Zach Wilson when he played, he threw the 300 yards against Tennessee, and he made these crazy plays. And what we could see in the future, this was the coming out game that Justin Fields, that we wanted to see Justin Fields. And Justin Fields he showed you what he could do in this league if he gets the chance. He ran the ball very well, 8 carries, 45 yards, almost ran it in for a touchdown before getting stopped at the 5 or 6 yard line. I mean, he was running the ball. I mean, this team.
They had a touchdown called back on the worst.
That's right. That's right too.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at the Bears, I mean, they got something. And I think Justin Fields is going to be special. I think he's going to, when he figures it out and he figures out the speed of the game, I believe the kid's going to be something very, very special.
So you think he's going to be the best quarterback out of that draft?
No, I think I think Mac Jones is going to be good. I think
who's going to be the best one?
I don't know, because we don't know. We have to see in 3 years the development of what these guys are going to be. I'm still don't
going
know.
to stick to Trevor Lawrence is going to be the best.
I mean, right now, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, right now, the back and forth. And by the way, I listened to what's his name again? Phil Sims' son, Chris Sims. And Chris Sims, to all the Jet fans, and he's absolutely right, saying Mike White, the love fest for Mike White. He says, you know, the love fest was for Zach Wilson when the Jets made the move for Zach Wilson and brought him in. He throws almost 300 yards against the Tennessee Titans, wins the game in overtime, and Jet fans were jumping for joy. Then he gets hurt. Mike White comes in, throws 400 yards, and everybody thinks he's the next coming since Tom Brady. He says everybody needs to bite down on whatever they're biting down on and open their eyes that Zach Wilson is the future of this organization and his team. And he's absolutely right. Why Jet fans? And I hate when Jet fans, even Giant fans, do it. They've done it for years.
Giant fans are the worst.
They've done it for years. And this is New York fans as all. I mean, in any sport.
I was going to say, I think it's a lot of New York and like
with
other
the
big
Knicks,
city. Yeah.
With the Knicks, even with the Nets, when they added Kyrie Irving and obviously Kevin Durant, they thought, oh, we're winning a championship. It's not that easy.
And then they go to the other extreme when they lose. Like, oh, nope, this team's cursed. Oh, goodbye.
And it's just not that easy.
We don't know anyone that would do that.
And that's New York. What are you talking about?
What
are you talking about?
Nothing.
He's taking a shot at Eric.
Yeah, what else? But I to me, when
you missed that. No, it wasn't about Eric.
Oh, well.
We would never have anyone call in and say that we need to trade our best player after 6 periods of the season. We don't have that here. Wait a minute. Hey, Beav, how's it going?
We'll get into that. Oh, don't worry.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
We're going to get into that.
Brilliant.
We're going to get into that in just a
Brilliant
few moments.
knowledge.
Don't you worry.
It is knowledge.
But
we'd have Jack Eichel right now taking a surgery, sitting in a hospital bed, while the best player on our team would be skating in Buffalo.
He'll be fine after getting that disc replacement. He's going to be fine. Trust me.
That's fine.
I think the Knights absolutely.
No, they fleeced them.
They absolutely fleeced the Buffalo Sabres.
I agree with you. They fleeced them.
They're going to get themselves one of the best
I'm just
centers
using his logic.
But honestly, when you look at the big picture, I think that every quarterback had their coming out party this year. We saw Mac Jones. He threw what was it, 356 yards in one of the games, played very well, had 3 touchdowns. He was fantastic in one of the games that we saw this year. That was his coming out party. We saw Trevor Lawrence. He threw almost 400 yards this year, 386 yards. That was his coming out party. Zach Wilson against Tennessee. We seen this was Justin Fields. Win or lose, this was Justin Fields' game to prove what he can do in this league. And it's going to take 3 years. And Jeff will tell you, it usually takes 3 years for a quarterback to develop in this league. And that's when you really know what they are. So, but I think a lot of the quarterbacks in this class, I think all of them have showed promise. It's just consistency. That's the difference.
But Fields also did it, though, with a limited running game because David Montgomery just came back. He wasn't the same David Montgomery was before his injury. Allen Robinson is still being misused by that terrible coaching staff. For
Who's Mac Jones throwing to?
Still, yeah. But
who's he throwing to? Who's Zach Wilson throwing to?
No, I know. I'm not denying that. But again, after Allen Robinson is not being used, I mean, it's basically the same.
I mean, half these quarterbacks are throwing
you're
to.
pretending like Mac Jones has all the weapons.
He doesn't. He doesn't. I just said it. Who's he throwing to? Who's Wilson throwing to? Who's Trevor Lawrence throwing to?
Well,
Come on.
I mean, Mac Jones has certainly more to work with than I think Wilson does. I think Jonnu Smith is a good player. Hunter Henry
Yes,
is certainly
but
regarded as one of the better tight ends in the league.
Yes, but I understand what you're going to say. But Mac Jones doesn't really have that many big weapons. He really doesn't have a number one wide receiver.
The difference, I think, between what Mac is working with and what Zach Wilson is working with, I think the receiving core is kind of comparable. Like Davis and Aguilar are kind of that same shitty player.
Yeah.
Bourne and Crowder are kind of that same shitty player, right? Like they're kind of whatever. It's just Mac Jones has more of them than Wilson does. Like Mac
also,
Jones
the running
has two
backs I
tight
think are
ends
helping
and-
too.
Right, and right. It's just he has more, more weapons. And when I say that, I literally just mean by volume and not.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think when you look at the weapons the Jets have, you're still iffy on who's this and what is this guy number 3? Is this guy number 2? We don't know what Elijah Moore is. We're starting to figure out.
It's not even that. I don't even know who's playing tight end for the Jets. What,
Right.
Herndon? Is Herndon still there?
No, Croft. Croft is
Tyler Croft and Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, Croft has played very
both
well.
stink.
Croft has played well this year. I like what we've seen with Croft this year. I really do. I think
But they're not even close to Jonnu Smith and Hunter.
No, I didn't say they were, but I think Croft
No, but
is.
this
having
is
a good
what I'm
season.
saying. I think Mac is working with a little more than
Yeah,
Zach
he
Wilson.
is, and I'm not. I'm saying that a lot of these young quarterbacks so far we've seen, who are they playing with? I mean, Chenault. We thought Chenault was going to have a good year, but they still are trying to figure things out. Chenault hasn't stayed healthy this year. So
Well, some of those guys have been hurt. Yeah, Chark has been hurt.
Chark has been out. I mean, again, who are they working with? So again, these quarterbacks they're still figuring things out until they get the right rosters together. We don't know what these guys.
The Jags are also doing Chenault kind of dirty too. Like
Look at the
Jets are
difference
doing
of Dak
Denzel
Prescott.
Mims.
Look at the difference of Dak Prescott with the weapons they've added over the last 2 years.
Right.
From Amari Cooper to obviously CeeDee Lamb, who somebody thought was not going to be that good of a player. And
You're still on Xavier McKinney.
and then obviously Gallup. Now he's back. I mean, this is a prolific offense who's going to be dangerous if they're 100% healthy in the playoffs because they could score 40 on you easy. So and we've
they
seen
still
it.
got a lot of defensive problems.
But we all know that.
All right,
We all
McKinney
knew
for
that.
Lamb swap. We'll still do it. We don't mind, Beef.
Get out of here. If the Cowboys ever did that, I think all the Cowboy fans should jump off a bridge.
Yep. Beef will be the last one left. I approve of that trade.
Still salty about that.
What's that?
Are you still salty about McKinney and the season? Dude, it's worked out in your favor,
No,
bro.
Big time. Big time.
I never said I would trade him for McKinney. I said I wanted to draft McKinney over Lamb, but because the Cowboys have a lot of defensive problems.
Boy, were you wrong.
Well,
Did you
right.
drop something?
It's all right.
And,
I mean,
right, and what you should be
No,
doing
I didn't
right
actually.
All right, so I'm wrong. So what am I say?
Slug
Just
says,
that.
Slug says if Aaron Rodgers farts in the locker room, his whole team would be in protocol for 2 weeks.
Probably.
That would be awesome. It run the shop right. Hit Beef with water balloons. So the Beef wants to continue to spew stupid opinions, but realizes to educate himself by watching the documentary.
Snug has a problem. He can call the show, and I'll give him a piece of my mind. All right.
The Slug says the Panthers are trying to invoke gives the backsies. Let's talk about what everyone really wants to know. Can the Lions finish the perfect season in reverse? That's still possible. They find a weird way to lose games. Fumble week 1 against Miami, I think referred to the Patriots. The Cowboys got exposed last week. The Denver defense showing up big.
One game.
No one other than the Beeve think the Cowboys would come out of the NFC. Have you seen the NFC West? Joe Flacco to the rescue. Genius doesn't top GOAT. All hail the Brady GOAT. Thanks to the Steelers for winning and hitting the over. Got paid on them. Mike White for president 2024. No Cowboys fans are the worst. Like Jeff always says, the 1-star rating on their helmet tells the whole story. Maybe the Cowboys fans should all jump off a bridge anyway.
Do you realize that the
It's
last
not
time
a logo, it's a rating.
Atlanta Braves won the World Series, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl that year?
Yes, and all
what do
patterns
you
are meant to be
think-
broken.
You think that's going to be a pattern this year?
Yeah.
No,
Is
it could
that
be. I'm
Is
just
that what
saying.
you're hanging your hopes on?
No, not really. But
Hey, listen. If the
I
Cowboys,
didn't predict them to
if
go to the Super
everything-
Bowl. So
if everything falls right for them, and obviously who they play in the first round, or they get the bye. If they
I don't think
Arizona's
going to get the bye. Cowboys are going to
you
get
get
the bye.
doesn't two teams
No,
get the bye?
No, not
It's
anymore.
only
It was
one.
a 7
It's only
point.
one.
That's right.
Cowboys won't get the bye.
Well, Arizona, they won without obviously.
Well, they'll get a home game in the
Kyler
first
Murray.
game. So, but
No Kyler, and no D Hop,
this
and still
When?
put
And
them
no
in a
Chase
bye.
Edmonds. He got hurt early in the game, so
Kyle Murray's not playing this weekend.
No, he's playing this weekend.
he should play this week.
He's playing this weekend. He played last weekend. He'll play this week.
You know who shouldn't play this week? Dak Prescott. Jesus, what a shit.
No, he'll play this weekend.
First of all, and Jeff, I know
that's the other thing.
that was a bad game for Dak.
Did
Every
the
quarterback
Broncos
has a bad
defense
game.
come up big, or did Dak just come up small?
Well, Dak was
It was
also
a mixture
coming.
of both.
He was coming off an injury. I expect Dak to have a much better game this week than he did the last.
He'll have a better game.
He should.
He's got
And
Gallup back, so he'll be all right.
I think Dak.
Jesus, I would hope he would have a better game than 78 passing yards through 3 quarters.
Well, it's funny that you're
But,
on because I wanted to get into this subject.
Here we go.
I never really spoke, coming into the initial conversation and the monologue at the beginning of the show to get into hockey, and I wanted you both here in person, you and Tyler,
Of course you did.
to talk, talk about this Panarin thing, which I know you guys argue on the phone. And it's funny because every time Tyler wants to bring up something funny or laugh about something, he brings up the Panarin thing. Now, so I have you both in the studio, and being that the Rangers are playing very good hockey, they really are. Right? I
Don't bring up the Rangers.
Why? They're
Why?
playing
Because they should feel very bad about themselves, honestly.
Why is that?
They should have beat Vancouver
Oh,
in regulation.
should have beat,
and they
shoulda,
should
coulda.
have beat Edmonton.
So
And
they're
they
not
got
winning
lucky
every one
last
of the
night.
game. No, it's not luck.
Yeah, it is.
It's not luck.
They
They're playing
blew a
good hockey.
4-goal lead. That's not
Because
luck.
they don't have defense.
Right. So you don't
45
get complacent
shots.
on your morals.
45
Listen,
shots against
Igor
that goalie.
Shostor- I know. I'm not having this conversation with him again about Sorokin and Shostorkin. That guy is playing the best hockey I've seen a goalie play in New York in a long time.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
No.
Oh,
He's
here
not
we go.
Lundqvist, but he's playing out of his freaking mind. You can't argue that. He's playing out of his mind.
Go ahead. Keep going.
That's it.
That's it.
Because honestly, if you
I'll tell you who's not playing good.
if you look at numbers, Sorokin has better numbers now than he does. So I don't know what you're talking about. So Sorokin's has a 1 point. He has a 1.93 ERA. He has a 1.93
he just
goals
had a
against
6-goal
average,
game in
save
Calgary.
percentage at 937. So how do you say he's playing better than every goaltender that you've seen? Because he's playing better than Shesterkin. So
the game against Calgary screwed up all of Shesterkin's numbers.
So you're telling me that if he had a good game against Calgary, he'd still have better numbers than Sorokin? Because he doesn't.
Take that game out, they're almost identical.
He doesn't have better numbers than Sorokin right now. He doesn't.
Right, I'm telling you, it's because of the game against Calgary.
Oh, okay. So
That's really the only team he struggled against because they played him earlier in the year too.
Right,
The
and they
Flames
smoked him
blew
the
him out
first time.
5-1. Yeah, at the Garden.
So that's your sell. You just said that he's outplayed any goaltender you've seen since
Listen,
really.
I know you get all
No,
emotional.
because it doesn't make sense.
I don't
It sounds
get it.
stupid.
I don't understand
It sounds
why.
stupid. It's
he
not
had
true.
a
Not
save
true.
percentage of about 9.42.
It's not
and
true.
then he had a goal average again like 1.86. So whatever numbers you just said are pretty similar to what I just told you.
Ilya Sorokin is 5-2. Okay. He has a 1.98 goals against average and 0.939, which is the best. His goals against is the best in the league. And he's, I think, second in save percentage. Second in save percentage.
Igor.
But he's got a better.
Igor is a 0.931 save percentage.
Yeah, and Sorokin's 9.39.
So who's playing better? I'm sorry. It's
what's his
Ilya
goals against?
Sorokin, 1.98.
Yeah, he's 2.37.
Yeah,
a lot better. He's playing better because the Islanders have a better defense than the Rangers.
So let's look at saves. How many saves?
How many shots does he have against them?
How many shots does he have against them? How many shots? Because I'm gonna show you that you guys are out of your damn friggin' minds. Because
was it SA? Was that the 340?
Saves.
Oh, saves 322 saves.
320.
Shot against 346.
Okay, so he has 294 saves. Okay, which is what 15 more saves. So
it's a lot.
It's not. That's like a period worth of saves. What are you joking?
The Islanders have a better defense, right?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Their defense hasn't played well in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but they have a better defense, don't they?
Their defense hasn't played well so far. It doesn't matter.
Answer the question.
But that's not the answer.
Do they have a better defense than the
Who's
Rangers?
played better this year? Sorokin or Shesterkin? Yes or no? Who's played better?
If when you look at the numbers,
Yes.
then it's Dion the goalie.
Ilya Sorokin.
But when you look at the defense, there's a bit of defense.
They on paper right now, but the Rangers have played in the last 5 games better defense than the Islanders. So again, and that has a lot to do with Gerard Gallant, and that they're
Amazing
starting
job.
to what?
Amazing job.
But you're the one
Very
that couldn't
happy.
stand. You couldn't stand him.
I can't
No, I
stand
didn't.
him.
You didn't like Gerard Gallant.
No, I didn't.
No, that
did.
was him.
I wanted Messier.
That was beef.
I still think Messier was the right.
He would have been a better fit.
The better pick, but you can't. As a Ranger fan, you can't be not happy the way this team is figuring.
Well, they
out.
just beat Florida, one of the best teams in hockey. So,
nobody expects
They got very lucky.
they did get
Very
lucky.
lucky.
It doesn't matter. They got lucky. They still won.
But again,
No, but you shouldn't blow a 4-goal lead at home.
No.
That game should never even been close. The Rangers dominated for 2.5 periods. I don't know what this team does. They put their foot off the gas, and they just suck.
They've had trouble in close games too. One
But
goals.
a lot of these
overtimes,
games,
yeah.
Edmonton shouldn't have been close.
Well, yeah.
Vancouver should not have been close. It makes no sense.
That's one of the few blunders he's had.
So the
this year,
Rangers
just
lost
working.
3 games, and Ranger fans want to jump off a bridge.
No, not at all. That's what makes a good borderline playoff team to a great Stanley Cup competitive team.
And Jeff,
putting your foot on somebody's throat during those 2
And
games.
Jeff, I don't know what's up with your team. Your team's terrible away. They're the best home team in all of hockey. So
Dude, they're awful. I hate their additions. I hate the way they're playing. There's nothing good to be said about their 3rd and 4th lines. The only good thing about that team is their top line. That's it. They're garbage.
Well, what's his name again? Hasn't really started the season off strong. Their center on the first lineup. Bergeron hasn't played well so
there's
far.
Panarin.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He just had a 4-goal game.
I know that, but hold on. I'm not talking about, but he hasn't played well this year. You can't tell me that Bergeron's had a good season so far.
First of all,
Brock Nelson had 4 goals, but before that game, he had 1 goal. So you're going to tell me that if Brock Nelson didn't score 4 goals, is he having a good season? He's playing like crap.
So is Panarin.
Panarin is not.
He has
playing
11
well.
assists. How is he playing?
He has
crap?
2 goals.
Okay,
You
so he's
didn't bring him here
facilitating
to
more.
score. You brought him here to make everyone else
You brought him
better.
He's a goal scorer. He's a 30-goal scorer.
And he'll end the year with 30 goals.
He won't get 30 goals this year.
Yes, he will.
No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
He's going to have 100 some odd points. He's
no,
going
he
to
won't.
be.
He
No,
is-
he won't.
He'll have
is-
100 some odd points.
He
No, he
is
won't.
off.
No, he
he is
won't.
off.
He's not off.
Yes, he
You're
is
off.
Why? Because he's passing more.
You're off.
So-
That's what's off.
No.
Your brain is skewed to
Right
the
now,
left.
Kreider's the best
I
player on the
want-
team.
No,
He's got 9 goals right now. I could look at the
He's
numbers.
the best goal scorer on the team. That doesn't make him the
Best player on the team is a bit of Jet. I'm going to say.
Well, yes, he's the best player on the team. But right now, Kreider is is unbelievable right now.
Well, you're a fool. By your logic, Adam Fox is the best player on the team.
He's the
By
best
your
defender.
logic.
He's the best defender on the team.
Okay, Panarin has 13 points on the year, which is tied for 18th right now in the league.
Okay, we'll
But out of how many people?
He's got 2 goals.
If you got 16
Okay, he
guys
has 11
tied at 18.
assists. That doesn't make him
Ooh,
doesn't
11
make him
assists.
a bad
Ooh.
player.
I
to
would
have
still
13
trade him for
points.
Barzell right now.
A lot of people will, and you heard the expert that we had on the show. He said that it's very hard to find a number 1 center in the league. To get a number 1 center, you definitely trade him for a top wingman. You absolutely.
He's getting red over there.
But it's true. It's not. It's look. It's a bit of Jet.
He's a
played
better
13 games.
player.
I don't know about that.
Oh, Barzell.
I mean,
He's not a better player, but
No.
he has upside.
But that's the center that the
he's
Rangers
younger.
need.
He's a lot younger.
That's the-
Panarin is a better player, but Barzell still has the upside.
I mean, Barzell's 5 years
I'm telling
younger.
you,
than
ever since that
Panarin.
Russian scandal with Panarin, he hasn't been the same player. Sorry, he hasn't been.
He has 11 assists and
He
13
hasn't been the
points
same
this year.
player.
He's played fine. He's not.
No, he hasn't played fine.
Yeah.
How many games have you watched, BD?
How many games have I watched? I think 10 or 11.
I've
this
watched
year.
every single game.
Okay.
So, there you go.
So why? Because
he
he's down
is-
as a
every
goal
time
scorer?
I watch-
He has not looked good on the ice. Sorry, he hasn't.
Every time I see a Ranger game, Panarin, Breadman, whatever the hell you want me to
He
call
hasn't
him,
looked good this year.
You're the only one that thinks that.
No.
You're literally the only person I've ever spoken to about this.
Kreider's look better.
that thinks-
Zibanejad's look better. Sorry. Just stating the truth.
I'm looking at top wingers in the NHL. Okay, we're gonna go to wingers. Jeff, I want you now. I want you to go through this, and I want you to tell me if you think. And when I name players, I want to know everybody thinks from Panarin to all these wingers. If you think that Panarin is better than these wingers, okay. First one. All right, so we'll go. David Pastrnak. Pastrnak. Do you think he's
I'm
better?
taking Panarin.
How about you, Jeff?
I'm taking Panarin.
Speedy?
Panarin, better passer.
How about you?
I guess I'll take
Ranger
Panarin
fans
over.
like you piss me off.
Why?
Why are you?
All right, I would take Panarin too. Kucherov.
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 He's definitely better.
Alexander
best winner in
Ovechkin.
Panarin.
Ovechkin. Ovechkin.
I'm taking Ovechkin.
I'm taking Ovechkin.
I'm taking Panarin.
Probably right
I'm
now, I
taking-
would take Panarin with the passing.
I'm taking. Yeah, you listen. Kucherov is great. You got to take Panarin because Kucherov may never be the same. This hip injury that he can't shake is going to change his career.
All right. Well,
I didn't even think of that.
I take.
Yeah,
Kuch-
he's
I
fine,
still
but
take
he's
Kucherov and Alexander Ovechkin. Who do you take?
Ovechkin.
Panarin.
I would take Panarin right now because of passing.
How about you, Jeff?
I mean, it's not even close. Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of our time. So anyone taking Panarin's high.
That's what I
Yep.
would say.
No,
the same.
I agree.
I mean,
We're not
are we
judging all
talking
time,
about
though. We're
one year?
judging
We're
this
talking
year.
about this year, next year.
Alexander Ovechkin has what 7 goals already? I mean, come on.
No, he's
I
playing
get it.
great, but he's not the same passer as
Right.
he used to be. Like
Doesn't
Panarin.
matter. He's going to score 50 goals this year.
Right, no, but what I'm saying is, it depends on are we building for the future or we're building for
I'm
right
talking
now?
about right now.
Right now.
then
Who's
right
the
now,
better
I'll take
player
Ovechkin.
right
Who's the
now?
better
I'll take
player on the
Ovechkin
ice?
for right now?
All right. Patrick Kane. Who do you take?
Kane.
Panarin.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Kane.
I'm going to say Kane.
I'm taking Panarin.
How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm taking Patrick Kane.
Brad Marchand. Who do you take?
Panarin.
That's tough. I'm
Marchand.
going to say Marchand because he's a little more
Marchand.
physical.
Definitely
That
more
is
physical.
tough, though. That's a really tough
It's definitely more
It's
physical.
not tough. It's Marchand all day. Every
Yes,
Dude,
100%.
who was third in the league in points last year? Not Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
Marchand.
I would take Marchand too.
Yep.
How about Marner? Who do you take?
Panarin.
I'm taking Marner. I mean, last year had 94 points.
Yeah, with Austin Matthews.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
I'm taking him too.
I'm taking Marner. He's faster. He's a passer and he's a goal scorer. He's everything.
I'm taking Panarin.
All right.
Mitch Marner has been underwhelming.
Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. How do you pronounce his name? Mikko Rantanen.
No, Panarin.
I would take
Panarin slightly,
I
only because
take
Rantanen's also
Panarin
very
over
injury
him.
prone.
I take Panarin.
But Rantanen is physical too, though, so it's not far off.
And
I'm
I'll go to
I'm taking Panarin. He can do his own thing. Rantanen's a product of McKinnon and who's that other meatball
Landeskog,
that
but he's
plays
also
up?
played well.
Landeskog,
McKinnon's been
yeah.
hurt though too. So
And nobody's
I wouldn't
taking
say it's
away that
directly
Panarin is a top 5 winger in the league. He is. There's no question that he is. The question is when you look at the centers, it's very hard to
I was
find a
about
number
to
one
say,
center.
have we heard an Islander winner yet?
No, because the Islanders don't have an elite winger right now. They don't, and that's why a lot of people believe is their weakness. If they could get a top end winger to play with Barzell, you're talking
That's
about.
why they went after
completely-
Panarin.
What happened?
That's what they
They
went after.
did. They did. They went after him. They didn't win. Mark Stone.
I would probably slightly edge out Panarin, but again, it's close.
I think it's
I like Stone. He's very underrated.
He is under. I don't think he's the best winner on that team, but whatever.
I think
You would
Panarin
take
over
Marshall
Stone.
over him.
How
I'll
about
take
you,
Mark
Jeff?
Stone.
Mark Stone or Panarin?
Yeah, Stone's a good player, but it's still Panarin.
All right, and I would say Panarin too. So those are the top 10 wingers besides Panarin in the league, and a lot of people would put Panarin probably 5 or 4. That's where he is. So and wingers, if you go now, let's go look. I'm looking at this because I'm trying to, where they rate these guys, as far as centers and wingers. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the centers are going to be higher rated just because they're going to get the overall point accumulation.
I'm just saying it, Speedy.
Like I said, Nikita Kucherov, when healthy, is probably
Here's the
better
top,
than a
here's the
similar
top
level center.
centers. Here's the top centers in the league. Hold on, that they have rated. And this is the NHL. All right. So when you look at centers in the league, now this is the top 10. Matthew Barzell is in the top 10. He's actually rated 5 in this list. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you the top 5. If you look at Connor McDavid, who would you take? Connor McDavid. I'm not. Obviously, I'm just mentioning names. You don't have to go. Connor McDavid.
Anyone not taking Connor McDavid should.
Connor McDavid or Matthew Barzell.
It's McDavid.
McDavid. Okay, we'll all take McDavid.
Yes.
Nathan McKinnon or Barzell.
McKinnon.
Really, you would take McKinnon because his numbers last year was not. Barzell had better numbers. So was Barzell. Sidney Crosby.
Crosby.
Austin Matthews. No, you're talking about all these players are top players. They're centers, and they're the best players in the league. And I named a bunch of set wingers, and you can't even connect. If I named those players to the wingers, you're probably going to take the centers from almost all the way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the difference here. Dryside.
Yes, Dryside.
So
I'll take Barzell over Dryside.
How about you?
Barzell.
Yeah, I'd take Barzell over Drysdale too.
How about you?
I said Dryside.
Okay. Patrice Bergeron.
Bergeron for sure.
Anyone not taking Bergeron's high?
Braden Point.
Braden Point, yes. Braden Point.
No, I'm taking Barzell.
I'm taking Barzell over Braden Point. Barkov.
Barkov slightly, not by
I take
much,
Barzell.
though.
Jack Eichel.
No, it is Barkov. It is by a mile. Did you know that he just became, and he hasn't even been with the team long, and he just became Florida's all-time leading scorer? That's impressive.
Okay, so if you look, and we just named the top 10 centers in the league, and if you can, that was 10 of them. If you compare the top centers in the league to the top wingers, it's not even close. So that's why when you look at wingers and centers, and you're going to get a number one center on your team, you're going to trade the best winger for the number one center. Of course. You're just going to do it.
That's why I would trade Panarin for Barzell.
It's a talent different. It's a talent different.
Just saying.
That's why a lot of these experts say. Now, I'm not saying Barzell is better than Panarin, because if you look at all around range, I'm going to probably slowly, obviously, because they do more. I think Barzell does more as a center. People are going to take, but if you look at all around talent, because he's 29 years old and he's been in the league a little bit longer. I'm talking about because Panarin is a little bit more of a veteran. A lot of people would look towards Panarin because of what he's done so far in his career. But being that Barzell is 23 years old and he's got 5 years or almost 6 years more than his development of his prime game, I'm taking Barzell because of that. So that's the difference. Now, that doesn't mean that if you compare and contrast those players that they're not very close to one another. They are. They're very close. But if you go to an expert and you say, who do you want? You want a number one line center, which is very, very hard to find. It's very hard. By the way, the Rangers don't have one.
No, the Rangers haven't had one since Messier retired.
Now, Zibanejad is close, and I think Zibanejad is their best player. He can win faceoffs. He can do everything, and he's a defensive player. But he's not even considered in these top 10. He's not even,
because there's so many good ones.
That's what I'm saying. He's not even considered in the top 10. When you get a top 10 center, it's not. You do not trade them. Tavares is not even in the top 10 of these guys.
He's not even the best on his own team.
Yeah, so that just shows you how hard it is to find a number one center in this league. So
centers and defenders.
Yes, so defenders, you can't buy a defender. You really can't. I mean,
but you're also looking at two different kinds of players, though, right? Because all those wingers that you're naming are all like snipers, like Ovechkin and Panarin and all those guys. All they do is stand there and snipe, right? Like centers have more responsibility. Like if you look at Patrice Bergeron, he plays two ways and he's more of a passer than he is a goal scorer. Despite 4 goals the other night.
Great face-off guy and defensive guy too. So
right.
So is Barzell. He's a two-way player also.
Generally the centers are more skilled.
Nobody's saying that he is. That's why you put. That's why
two-way players.
Hold on. You just said you took Bergeron. So we're not comparing Bergeron to Barzell, you idiot. What we're saying is that Barzell does just as much as Bergeron. Bergeron's better because he's a veteran and he's been in the league longer. So that's what we're saying. That's not what you're trying to compare.
But Jeff knows this as a Bruins fan. He's been consistently good at it. Like not even some of the top centers.
I'm just saying two-way players
and not be a moron all the time. Centers have more responsibilities. Absolutely. They distribute the puck. They play defense. They skate 2 ways. Like, dude, guys like Kucherov and Ovechkin, they hang out at the blue line and wait for a pass. Like that's what they do. Like centers have far more responsibilities on a team than wingers do.
Absolutely, and there's a lot more pressure on them to make the plays, especially in the important part of the game.
He would make the Rangers so much better.
I don't. Now listen, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it. I'm saying that if the Rangers had a chance to get Matthew Barzell for Panarin, the Rangers would drive Panarin to the WBC stadium for Barzell. Not even a question.
They really would.
They would absolutely would do it. Absolutely. It's not even a question.
But numbskull Rangers fans all think he's God's gift. It's ridiculous. I want to see Tom Wilson drop him on his mullet again.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
And that doesn't take away his talent.
I'm not taking away his talent at all. I'm just saying what I would
Not
trade
at all.
for,
And
so.
anybody that says that Panarin stinks or he's not a top end winger in the league, they're out of their damn minds. Even me, who can't stand the Rangers, I think he's special.
Of course he is.
But
you were just complaining he had 2 goals, though, Beef.
I am complaining because he should have more than that. He's a 30-goal scorer. He should have more than 2 goals.
Let him
If he had,
feel the
if he
game
had
out.
5 goals, he wouldn't have 11
he'll go on in a
assists.
game. He'll go on an 8-goal goal scoring streak. You'll see. He's a goal scorer.
I just think there's something wrong with him right now.
He's
If
a
he
goal
had
scorer.
5 or 6 goals, he would not have that many assists. Like
I just think he's off.
Dude, he's one of the best snipers in the league.
I'm not saying he's not. I said
And the
he's
team as a whole
off
is
right
playing
now.
very well. So why are you complaining at all?
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I would
It
trade him for
sounds like you're
Barzell.
complaining.
That's all.
No, but we just
And the
We're
explained
just
that.
throwing that theory out
That's
because
it.
it's New York.
And
but
the
it's not
Rangers don't have it.
realistic.
The Rangers don't have a defense.
We just and by the way, and
So-
here's another thing that sells Barzell over Panarin. Who's faster? I mean,
oh my God.
Wasn't Barzell like the fastest guy in hockey?
Second or third.
He
Connor
is-
McDavid.
No.
Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid is
Yeah,
by
Connor
far the
McDavid is
fastest
better.
Yeah.
kid in hockey.
Me and Errol went to a Ranger Islander game, and
Yeah.
I seen Barzell live for
Dude,
the
we were
first
right
time.
against it. We were there, and I'm a hockey player, and I skated. I've never seen, and I'm not saying this, when we watched him, dude, he was skating circles around the Rangers. Even Panarin skating like it was like a game. It was like a video game.
Yeah.
That's what it
He
looked
was
like.
so fast. I never seen anyone skate that fast in my
Skating
life.
circles around them. It was hilarious.
Anyone wants to know who the fastest skater in the league is needs to go and watch the Connor McDavid goal from the
Oh
other
my
night.
God.
It's Connor McDavid.
Yeah, we know against the Rangers.
Yeah, right there. He skated through 4 defenders and then put the puck in the net. That's ridiculous.
I mean, Connor McDavid, and I wouldn't say by far. I mean, it's like 0.2 seconds.
No,
but that's a lot.
It's a distinct.
Yes.
There are
Barzell's
other dudes that
is-
can fly too. Who's
Yes.
the dude that was on the Rangers that plays for the
Small
Penguins
guy.
now?
Small guy.
Carl
Hagelin.
Yes.
Hagelin can fly.
He's
Anthony
fast. too.
Cicerelli can fly.
Yes, Cicerelli's very fast too. There's a defenseman that's really, really fast.
Cal
too.
McCarr, I
Yeah,
think is the
Cal
fastest.
McCarr, yeah.
He can skate backwards really well.
Yeah,
too.
he's
Like,
very fast too. So, I mean, you're talking about a top 3
sneaky fast 'cause
speed
he's
guy
got
in the
size.
NHL.
Victor Hedman is sneaky fast.
Yep,
for his
Hedman's
size.
very fast.
Absolutely.
Hedman's very fast. But speed means a lot in the NHL, especially the way the game's transition. And if you try to compare Panarin skating to Matthew Barzell, it's not even close. So that's the difference. And when you try to compare, when you say 5-tool player in hockey, when it comes to baseball, you know what the 5 tools are. In hockey, it's skating, defense, winning faceoffs, playing plus minus is very important when you're
His plus minus is terrible, Panarin's.
It's very, very important because that tells you how many times they score and how many times they give up goals when he's on the ice. So two-way hockey is very, very important. And Gerard Gallant is the king of telling his players that. Anybody know anything about Gerard Gallant? The first thing is defense. Second thing is defense. Third thing is defense.
Actually,
everything else.
I can't
is
stand
offense.
Trouba, and he's playing pretty good this year.
Well, Trouba's playing well. I think the defense is starting to figure out his way of defense. He likes to play the 2 up front, 1 man in the middle, and 2 down low.
Yeah.
And that's the way he plays.
They finally have a real forecheck too, which is nice to see. Not consistently, but at least it's something.
That kid, how do you pronounce Lafreniere? That kid is really developing on defense too.
Yes,
he's
he
always
is.
in the forecheck.
He's very
He's always
fast.
hitting.
He's a very fast kid.
Yeah, his
And,
plus minus is -4.
the one that I'm going to go back to it. The one that the Ranger fans should be careful and really crying about is Capocacco, who is just, I don't know what's going on with the kid. A lot of people thought that this kid was going to be a good goal scorer in the league. He's just
Steve.
I did. I really, and so
I
did a
don't
lot of
know
other people.
what-
I don't know what's wrong with him.
I don't know what's going on with him, and it's starting to. This is his 3rd year. It's starting to get alarming.
It's getting to his head too, kind of like not to the same extent, but in Barzell was his 2nd year. He had like a lot of times where he wouldn't shoot the puck a lot of the time. I think Kakko's doing a lot of the same right now too.
But
where
this is
he's-
his 3rd year, and
I
it's,
know,
and he's playing with
to a much higher degree.
and he was playing in the beginning of the year with Panarin. I mean, who could pass him the puck and get him the puck. That's alarming when you went from playing on the top line or the 2nd best line, and you're falling almost to the 3rd or 4th line. I mean,
And he's only played 9 games this year.
it's
he was hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, as a Ranger fan, you're talking about the number 2 prospect and I remember when he was drafted, how everybody said he was a no doubt superstar offensive player in the league. And I know it's still early. He's still very young. He's 21 years old. But it's alarming when you know
he might not be New York bound.
No, he's not.
Maybe not. Yeah,
I might need to go with Minnesota or Nashville.
I think the Rangers are going to trade him.
But what are they going to get for him?
They'll get something for him. He's young, and a team like listen. The Islanders need a good winger. I don't think the Rangers will ever trade him to the Islanders.
No, you're in the same state.
Yes, I know that they wouldn't do it. The Islanders would never
trade it for Barzell.
Yeah, right.
That I would.
They would never. They would never do that. You would have to trade Panarin and Capocaco.
I know that. I'm joking.
And I don't even think the Islanders would do that. So I don't think they would do that.
That's funny.
Thanks for Strome, by the way.
What?
I appreciate Ryan Strome.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
You like Ryan Strome?
I can't stand him.
I like Ryan Strome.
I'm actually surprised he's been as consistent as he's been the last couple of years with the Rangers.
He's a goat herder. Give me a break.
He's a goat herder.
I don't care.
He's not.
I enjoy.
He's another Jordan Eberle. That's what he is. He's a guy that'll give you maybe in a good season. He's going to give you 20. He'll give you 20 to 19 goals, and he'll give you like 30 assists.
Right. That's
You're
fine
thanking me for
third line
that?
center.
You're thanking the Islanders for that?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Who's your fourth line center now? He's got to be better than. He can't be better than Strome.
Casey Cizikas is the best fourth line center in the league.
Who's the third line center?
Brock Nelson.
Yeah,
right?
they're probably comparable. I would imagine.
I mean,
Brock Nelson. Game in 2 years.
Brock Nelson is a better player than your Ryan Strome.
I'm not doing this with you.
Really? He's got 7 goals. He's got 7 goals right now.
And Strome
He's
has
out. Yeah,
5, and he missed like 3 games.
That's great. So that's the excuse. 3 games. So from Sorokin because because of the one Calgary game. So Sorokin's you
6
just told
goals.
me that Sorokin has looked better than any goaltender you've seen since Henrik Lundqvist. I just gave you numbers of Sorokin, and now you're trying to make excuses that still.
I could say Igor Shesterkin should be the next president of the country, and you would have a bitch fit. So I'm just saying anything at this point to see how.
By the way, I've complimented, and Speedy will tell you, I've complimented Shesterkin. But to say that he's the best goaltender in New York is ridiculous. He's not. I just gave you numbers. He's 5-2 Sorokin. He's a 1.98 goals against, which is the best in the NHL. And he has a save percentage that's probably second or third in the NHL. So how could you say that? It's stupid. It's dumb. And you cannot say that.
Where's the Islanders' defense rank in the NHL?
So that's the excuse. Even though he has 294 saves, which is only 15 saves less than Shesterkin, which is not much. That's not much more. So
that's why shots.
Oh, okay.
It's more important than saves allowed.
How many shutouts does Shesterkin have this year?
2,
1.
I believe.
I think he's got 1.
I thought he had 2.
No, he's got 1.
He got his first.
All right, then he had a bunch of 40 save.
And how many shutouts does Sorokin have?
I'm sure more than
3.
1. Otherwise,
Okay.
he wouldn't have brought it up.
He has 3. 3 out of the 5 wins that he has 3 shutouts. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that just tells you. And by the way, one of them was against a very good team. Actually, 2 of them were against very good
Vegas.
team.
Yeah, Vegas was special.
All right. So and by the way, in those games he had like 40 saves.
Okay.
So
Igor Shesterkin's like 7-0 when he has to face 40 or more shots.
Congratulations. But that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that you making him out to be like Henrik Lundqvist when he's not.
I didn't say that.
He's not.
I didn't say that.
Now he could be.
No, he won't be Henrik Lundqvist.
How could you say that?
Because Henrik Lundqvist is the greatest Ranger goalie in any Ranger.
Some people would argue that you're wrong on that. And
Yeah,
Jacquemin,
a lot of people are going to say
Mike Richter.
Mike
A lot of people
Richter,
are
John
gonna say
Van
Richter 'cause of the
Beesbrook.
cup.
I mean, they were.
But Henrik Lundqvist should have a cup.
defense in
They've always
94.
had good goaltending. The Rangers.
Yes.
Always.
I understand.
But
I
one,
get it.
one thing
I
they don't
completely-
have, and they've always had problems
Defense.
with, is defense.
Well, except for 94.
And centers.
Except for 94. They had a good defense in 94.
I think the centers are a bigger problem.
Greatest name in hockey history.
Who is it? You think that he was the best defensive player on that team when they won the Stanley Cup?
No, it said the best name in hockey.
No, but who was the best?
Leach.
Brian
Leach.
But second best. I'm sorry, second best. Jeff, are you all right over there? You're right over there. Who was the second best defensive player on the Rangers in '94? Jeff, this will be a good question because if Jeff gets this, I'll be very shocked.
Hold on, 94?
94 when they won the Stanley Cup. Who was the second best defenseman on the Rangers?
I was 2.
I know.
Oh my God, 94. I literally have to think hard because I kind of only know some of the main guys on that team, like Messier and those guys. So
I could tell you.
Nedved.
Yeah, Peter Nedved.
94.
But he wasn't on the 94 team, Peter Nedved. I don't think he was. I don't think Peter Neff.
I don't think so.
No. It was after that they traded for Peter Neff from Vancouver.
Well, Brian Leach was the best one. So who's
Yes.
the second best?
Anybody know? How about you? Who do you think? Besides looking at it,
I know. I'm going to say I know. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember.
Who do you got?
Is it the guy Alexander Karpov? I can't say his name.
Karpetsov?
Yeah.
No, it's not him.
No.
I'm waiting for you.
Zubov?
Zubov.
Sergei Zubov was their second best.
That's
defenseman.
right.
When I watched the documentary on the '94 Rangers, he was always my favorite one. Like the way he was hitting.
Sergei Zubov.
Yeah.
And I remember him very well when they drafted him and how he could have been better than he was. He just had a lot of bad injuries. Sergei Zubov. He was really good. He was a really good player. Malakoff, he played for the Rangers and the Islanders. And Malakoff was very underrated as a hockey player and a defenseman in the NHL too. I got to skate with him. Special skater for a guy that was a defenseman. Very big and strong too. Darius Kasparaitis is very underrated too, and what he can do and what he did. So a lot of people underrate how good Darius Kasparaitis was.
Snug says, haha, 15 saves a lot. The Pit Princess of Piccolo never disappoints. The beef should ban himself from the show.
Now, I know everybody's going to say Vasilevsky, okay? Who does, in the last four years, besides Vasilevsky, who would you guys say is the second best goaltender in the NHL?
That's a good question.
Who's been the second best goaltender?
It's not. You're right. It's not obvious.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Don't say Henrik Lundqvist.
No.
Because he was on the tail end of his career.
Not the last 4 years. No.
Last 4 years.
4 years.
Besides
Vasilevsky.
Besides
Vasilevsky. Who?
I was going to say Holtby.
I don't know. Holtby had a bad last year
Yeah.
with Vancouver, though. So
How about you, Jeff? Who would you?
What was the question?
Who has been the second best goaltender in the NHL, right behind Vasilevsky in the last 4 years?
I've got mine. 4 years.
4 years.
Are we talking regular season? Or are we talking
Anything? Regular season, anything. Yeah.
Well, Vasilevsky's been pretty good. Tuukka Rask has been pretty good.
He's a great. Rask has been a very good playoff goalie, so we all know that. But I'm talking about like 4 years. If you would say who's the second best goaltender in the NHL,
here's a guy that's underrated. That's been a Vezina Trophy finalist twice.
Was it Bishop, right?
No, he hasn't been good the last 4 years. Vezina Trophy winner or finalist twice has been for Winnipeg, Connor Hellebuck.
He's underrated.
He's been good. Fleury's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fleury's been good.
How about Bobrovsky? I mean,
he stinks. Bob stinks.
I mean, in the last 4 years, who could say
when he first got to Florida, he was having trouble, but beyond that, he's played well.
I mean, in the last 4 years, I would say Bobrovsky has been the second best goalie in the NHL. I mean,
he's a trash can.
Actually, and Robin Lerner. I mean,
you forget
about him the last 3 years.
Yeah,
he's been really good. And I was another.
And you're forgetting maybe the best one out of all of them. Isn't Carey Price like the best?
Price,
not regular season wise though.
Carey Price can't stay healthy. Carey Price is special. He's a Hall of Fame.
Right.
Carey Price can't stay off the sauce.
Probably right about that too. I mean, after that story that came out. By the way, it takes a lot of guts to come out and say that you have a problem. And Lerner did it. And it's not easy to say something like that and to come out and say what he's been doing the last 10 years since he's been in the league. That takes a lot of guts. You know what I mean?
Dude, I give him a lot of credit because it really does take something special to. I mean, you're going to be taking bullets, especially in Montreal, for missing hockey games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But to do something for himself and to get himself right, I mean. Takes a lot of guts to do it.
Because I read the story and how he came out and he talked to the press about it. It's not easy to go out there and say, the last 10 years I've had a dark side, and maybe that's affected his career.
Definitely.
That's affected his career because who knows? This guy is. You're talking about. Some people say it was a Bro Tour, Patrick Waugh type of goaltender coming from Canada, and he's still a Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Could you imagine what he could have been if he didn't have this problem? I mean, seriously, you're talking about one of the best goaltenders, if not the best goalie of all time.
Let's go.
And you're talking about playing for one of the most brutal fan bases too.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
How about I want to get off a little hockey. I want to get into baseball, and it's very interesting, and I want to know your opinion because
on what?
On the Mets.
Oh God.
And because
do you really want my opinion?
Yeah,
on the Mets?
I think it's a very interesting question because Is it true?
Why bother? Everything he likes sucks.
No, but Jeff, it's a good question because do you believe the stories that people don't want to play for Cohen? Is it starting?
Is he too much of a hard ass, or I mean, I
no,
don't
they
know.
say it's not about a hard ass. A lot of people. There's a lot of rumors coming out from the ownership.
He's not nice. He's not friendly.
No,
with
he's
the
spending. No, he
or-
is nice. He's spending money. I think the story. What is this full story coming out about Cohen?
Well, there's a lot of people also being deterred by the fact of Sandy Alderson still being there and going to have his influence, and then his son's there as well. So there's a kind of clashing personalities.
Sandy's making excuses that they don't want to come to New York because it's too much pressure.
Yeah,
I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's inevitable. That's inevitable anyway. You're just stating the obvious. I agree with that. And also because Steve Cohen's there and he is going to spend money, you have all these personalities of different philosophies clashing. That's why I wanted the Brewers GM Stearns, because I think he was a good middle ground.
There was no way they're going to let him.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying that's who I wanted because he was a nice middle ground of all that. Not going to be too extreme for the high money teams that overspend and then they'll dig themselves a money pit, or they'll underspend and be the Moneyball type in a big market city.
I was looking at the post the other day, and they had the Mets signing Baez for $150 million or something like that.
Well, that's a rumor, but
and then they're also going after the guy from the Athletics, the center fielder.
They're trying to trade for Laureano?
No, they're going to sign. He's a free agent.
Marte.
Yeah, it was
I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind
3-year
Marte.
deal they're going to give him.
I wouldn't mind that. He's been
well, that's a
consistent.
rumor. It's no definite.
No, it was predictions that they were going.
I hope that'd be cool.
I mean, there's a lot of prediction who the Yankees are going to get. That doesn't mean they're
and then
going
they
to
said
get him.
Syndergaard too. They're going to sign him for a 1-year deal, 2-year.
If
deal.
Syndergaard doesn't take the qualifying offer, I can't imagine them giving him much.
But that's not what we're talking about.
I know,
We're getting into. We're going off topic.
But what's the story with Cohen?
How about this? The Mets have had an opening for a GM and a president for the last 2 months, and this is the first time I can honestly say in any sport that a team has interviewed as many people for both positions and they can't land one. No, everybody's said either no or they don't want to leave their organizations.
Or maybe because Sandy Alderson's still there and they don't want him.
I don't think it has anything to do with Sandy.
I don't know.
I think it has some, but not a lot.
I think it has a lot to do with Steve Cohen. I think it.
Why?
Because of the stock market, a lot of people thought that he made his billions or whatever his.
But he's trying to win.
No, I'm not talking about the money that he's spending. I'm talking about the stock market. The stories coming out that he, with the whole, him telling his, paying his friends or giving his friends money to buy a stock, which he wasn't allowed to do. You know the stories that have gone around with him. A lot of people think that he's he's not. What's the word? A cheat or?
That's right. Yeah, with the currency or whatever that was. Yeah, he was.
There was the AMC thing. Remember the whole AMC thing?
Right at the beginning of the season, or
how he made his friend made a lot of money, then lost
and
a lot of money.
Some of it wasn't his money.
Yeah. And a lot of the owners are not very happy that he got the ownership of the team and all that other stuff because he's the richest owner now and he's going to try to buy his way to a championship. But I mean, Jeff, what do you think it is? Because this is something I've never seen before in any sport. I've never seen this, that a team has had they've had openings for their GM and president position. They can't fill it. Nobody wants this job. And this is the New York Mets.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wait and see, dude. Like, I think it's all garbage.
They're waiting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got to wait and see. This dude, first of all, this dude hasn't done this before, right?
True.
You got to give him some time to figure out let him take his time and find his guy so then you can yell at him, right? You don't want someone just rushing in there and doing whatever. That's why the whole thing with all players don't want to play for him now. How would they know? The dude hasn't even owned the team 2 weeks and people are already complaining about him.
That's true.
Chill out and give him some time, dude.
It's true.
It's a long time. I mean, they've interviewed 30 people for the president.
I still think it has something to do with Sandy Alderson a little bit.
That's a lot of people.
I think it does too. But again, Errol's right. It is stalling a lot
of people.
It is a lot of people.
You're also dealing with different philosophies between the Dodgers guys, the 2 Dodgers guys, Milwaukee. They've interviewed somebody from the Rays. They've interviewed somebody from the Red Sox. They've interviewed somebody from the Nationals.
And who says the Mets don't go in and say, that's not our guy?
I think there's a behind the scenes thing still going on with the Mets still, where between they've just had a lot of team culture problems. Obviously, all
they
the players
overpaid for Lindor. I mean,
they have a lot of team culture problems. They have a lot of injury-prone players.
Yeah,
they have a lot of the other back things.
They were making jokes on the MLB Network that he outbid himself for Lindor. There was nobody giving him the money that he was getting.
He got way
He
overpaid.
He was lucky to get. Some people say he was lucky to get 275, 280. He got 340.
He got overpaid and had the season he had. Yeah.
He overpaid him for almost $70 million. Now, I don't believe Lindor.
When you have $8 billion, you don't care.
No, I understand it. But
true.
I don't believe Lindor was as bad as he was this year.
He had a bad season.
I wouldn't say that he is. But what happens if he has another bad year like that?
He probably will. I don't think he can play in New York.
But my point is that's not the only problem, though.
No.
The Mets have problems with
Their outfield.
Their
I'm
outfield.
not saying that. I'm saying.
And really the starting pitching now. They don't know where
the whole debacle with DeGrom. Who's to blame for that? There's a lot of things that go into the Mets, and that's why. And they have GMs that have all these off-field issues.
DeGrom has to learn how to not throw that hard.
There's something on the inside.
You're going to tell a pitcher that's been dominant, hey, by the way, you don't need to throw 100 miles per hour.
That's what he's doing.
Dude, he is the best pitcher by far in baseball.
I understand that, but
it's not even,
he's overthrowing.
It is not even close. When he's healthy, there's nobody even close.
When you're throwing that hard, it's a lot on your arm.
You're talking about Matt Scherzer, any of these guys. When DeGrom is at 100%, nobody can argue that he's not the best pitcher in baseball.
No.
But Beav is right that there are games where he did overthrow it, though. And as a result, you have all this issues with longevity throughout the season, though. And sometimes pitchers get in this trap, especially now when they're trying to go for strikeouts to get better long-term money later on. Now, DeGrom already got paid. He got underpaid, technically, and maybe doesn't have that. Maybe thinks he may have that same thing going forward if the Mets for some reason are stupid and don't hold on to him. But because of that, maybe he did start overthrowing. Usually it's a rarity to see guys get to 100 miles an hour later in their career as it is, but still, I think you're right, Beav, in the sense where I think he got too confident in it and it didn't help him long term. Granted, he still pitched well. He had a historic first half, but obviously he didn't pitch in the second half, and that has something to do with it.
As far as Garrett Cole and everybody's happy that he's a finalist for the Cy Young. He's not going to win it, Yankee fans. He's not. They're not going to give it to him, no matter if he had a better season than the other two guys that are in front of him. The problem is with Garrett Cole is really the last 2 months of baseball. He looked horrible. He was 0-6 in the last, and after the playoff game, he was 0-7 in the last month and a half of baseball. And to me, he was the best pitcher in baseball. I thought he was going to win the Cy Young until his final month of baseball. He was horrible. And to the Yankee fans to sit there and say, well, we have a Cy Young finals. Who the hell cares? Okay. It doesn't matter. And
every MVP candidate's on a team that didn't make the playoffs.
It really doesn't matter. And for Justin Verlander, and I told you, the Yankees are going to be very interested.
He's going to go to the Yankees.
Possibility, because the Yankees are going to go watch him pitch and throw the ball.
They will sign him.
They already did. Was at their first appearance or his bullpen session or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't mean that they're going to sign him, but they are looking at him. They're also looking at bringing back Masahiro Tanaka too.
Oh, thank God.
So there is rumors that.
I'm serious. Thank God. That's the big game pitcher you need.
Yeah, they're talking about possibly bringing him back too. So, and he wants to come back.
Never let him go in the first place.
But there's honestly with the Yankees. Now we're hearing Correa. Now, if they really bring Correa here to the Yankees, they got to be damn sure. First of all, they can't overpay for him.
No.
And
they're going to have to overpay.
No, they're saying that
there's
they won't
going
have
to be a bidding war for him.
I don't think so. I think 140, 150 million. I don't think he's getting
more than that.
I didn't hear Houston offered him any of that.
He's injury prone though. So
I didn't hear
you want to pay him that much.
Houston didn't offer him anything. I didn't hear
they
anything.
did offer him something.
Maybe he wants that from Houston. I didn't hear.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear that they offered him 150 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for a guy that's an injury prone player.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean that's where the Yankees would be shooting at to pay him. They're not going to give him any more than that. I mean, Jeff, your opinion. Carlos Correa becomes available. Okay, do you pay him more than 150 million?
Of course.
You would pay him more than 150 million right now.
Of course.
Now, the way the league has changed, especially with the money.
That offer that they gave him was an absolute insult.
Who gave him?
Did the Astros give him?
What did they give him? What did they give him?
5 years, 150 million.
Oh, so they did offer him a 5-year, 150 million. I'm hearing. Yeah. I don't think it's an insult because of the way the league is and the way the contracts are going. That's why they're going to go on strike.
So you don't think it's an insult the way the contracts are going? So let's compare two exact same guys at the same exact position. Carlos Correa, 5 years, 150 million. Francisco Lindor,
we just said They outbid.
Yes.
Steve Cohen outbid himself. There was no and Lindor at the time when they signed him, he was considered the best shortstop in baseball.
And durable until he got to the bats.
Okay, so let's just say he did outbid himself, and what like
big time.
Okay, fine, big time. He didn't outbid himself by double.
Yeah, but again, could you before last year, could you compare Carlos Correa to Francisco Lindor? The answer would probably be no.
Yeah, 5 years younger and durable at the time, and then he goes to the Mets and he's always hurt. Also, you have to factor in it's a qualifying offer too. That's not necessarily going to be.
He's not getting more than 3 or 4
If
year
the Indians gave him a qualifying offer rather than just dangling him in trades right away, it probably wouldn't have been anywhere near the Mets contract.
Carlos Correa is going to get north of $200 million.
You really think
I don't
so?
think so.
I don't think so.
He's too old and injury prone.
How old is he?
31, I believe.
And he's going to be 32 when the season starts, right?
He's been hurt a lot. He was healthy this year,
There's
which
no
was
way.
nice. I don't know if I could trust that consistency when 3 years.
You'll be lucky to get a 5-year contract
for 3
Well,
years.
if Carlos Correa is smart, he's going to wait for Trey Turner.
Why? Trey Turner available this offseason?
I believe he was.
Trey Turner, honestly,
I don't think so. Is he?
I think Trey Turner's a better player.
Trey Turner is a better
He
player.
has the
but
same
what I'm
injury
trying to
risk,
tell you
though,
is-
too.
What I'm telling you is
The
they're
other-
not
the
far
other-
enough apart where Carlos Correa can't demand that money.
None of those guys are getting $200 million.
Trey
other
Turner
guy he
will
should be
absolutely
waiting
get $200 million.
There's no way he's getting $200 million.
Trey Turner deserves $200 million.
He's not, because I don't
He'll
think
get it. He'll get it, I think, with this year. But again, he's another guy that you have the risk with the injury prone. So
The other guy he should be waiting on, same exact player. Like if you look at it, Xander Bogaerts has an opt out. If Bogaerts opts out, wait to see what Bogaerts gets.
right, he had a nice offensive year too.
He had a great playoff.
Right,
too.
but he's not the offensive player Carlos Correa
Not
is.
consistently his whole career, no. But I think the
Right,
last
that's
couple
what
of
I'm-
years,
I would pay both of them more than I'd pay Correa, though.
They're not getting $200
And
million. I
Story-
don't think any of them are getting $200 million.
And honestly, the only reason I won't give Seager that money is because he's always hurt too.
He's always hurt too, and he's actually regressed a lot in certain years.
First of all, you're talking about Correa. If he's going to be 32 at the beginning of next season, there's no way a team's going to give him $200 million. There's no way. They're just not. I don't think he's getting $200 million.
No, I can't imagine him getting
No
more
way.
than probably 180. I think
I
that'll
don't
be
think he's getting 180.
depending on the team. If there's a team that maybe is only
He should have taken that
if
Astro
that's-
offer. For
Yeah,
5 years,
if that's his only
150 million.
if
I
that's
would've
their
taken
only
it.
signing, I think you could still see Carlos Correa get slightly overpaid where that could end up happening. Whether 180 is big time overpaid or not, it's another question. But if that's their only free agent signing for a certain team, let's take Milwaukee for example. We know they needed some infield help, offensive help. Let's say that, and that's the only signing they make. I could see him getting 180. The Yankees are not going to give him 180 because
No
they're going to
way.
go after other things. They're going to go after pitching. They're going to go after a
But
catcher.
that's-
Maybe
I don't want him
something
here.
like that.
Whoever wants Carlos Correa here,
You don't want Carlos Correa if you can get him for like $150 million?
No,
you're crazy.
You get him on. I would take him.
You're crazy.
I would take him.
He
That's
wouldn't even
crazy.
make my
I think the
second
bigger issue
shortstop
is not
phone call.
necessarily.
You're out of your mind.
I think
if
the
you don't
bigger
want
issue
Carlos
is not
Correa to play
necessarily
for
The
the
Yankees' problem is pitching. That's what they need.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, for a
Oh,
Yankee
God,
fan,
I know it doesn't matter.
For a Yankee fan to say that he doesn't want Carlos Correa if you can get
Crazy.
it for $150 million, it's crazy.
No, I hate to say it, but I agree with my nephew,
Who's your nephew?
Tyler.
Oh,
The one you want to choke out?
No, he's
Yeah,
a
he's my-
guillotine this time.
Oh yeah, he's definitely my nephew.
well,
Oh,
5
wow.
yees, $150 million. If you could get him,
But
I'd
he's-
take him.
you
I'm
know,
not signing him. Sorry.
yeah,
I
you wanna-
disagree.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would.
No, you
Your
want-
way of thinking won't get the Yankees anywhere. We're
My
trying
way
to
of
win.
thinking-
Your
my
way of thinking, yes.
Your way of thinking is stupidity. So
Joey
I wouldn't ask you.
Gallo and
Joey
Anthony
Gallo was
Rizzo.
a Gold Glove winner, and he still hit 39 home runs this year, and he had 90-something RBIs.
Yeah, how'd that
Okay?
do for you in the playoffs?
Again, it wasn't Joey Gallo's fault that they lost.
Actually, didn't he get benched in the middle of September
Hold on one second.
and become the
Hold on
fourth
one second.
outfielder?
How many players
Did that or did that not
How
happen?
many Yankees that you know hit 39 home runs and 90-something RBIs and win a
How
Gold
many of that
Glove?
was with Texas?
How many? It
How
doesn't
many of
matter.
that was-
How
No,
many
that
Yankees-
actually does matter
how many-
very much.
How many Yankees that you know have won a Gold Glove, hit 39, almost 40 home runs, and hit almost 90-something RBIs, almost 100 RBIs? How many Yankees you know have done that?
Tino's done it. A-Rod.
He's not an outfielder. I'm talking about outfielders.
Bernie probably got very similar to it.
You're talking about the 90s, buddy. Early
okay,
2000s.
I get that. But what I'm trying to tell you
Joey
is
Gallo is not a bad player. It's retarded.
I didn't say he's a bad player.
He's
what I'm
a
saying is you
left-handed
don't
power.
need him. You didn't need him, especially if you were trying to get Rizzo.
The last thing the Yankees
got him
need
for
is another
nothing.
right-handed
It doesn't
power bat.
matter. He did nothing for you.
Really? They did
nothing
nothing.
plus nothing equals nothing.
Oh, so he hit 13 home runs for the Yankees. He did nothing for you?
You lost in the wild card game, did you not?
It wasn't
Okay,
Joey
then.
Gallo's fault, you idiot.
You're right. They got shut out. It was the whole offense's fault.
Oh, my God.
That you're so proud of. Go no.
No.
But meanwhile, the
You're
best player on the
you're
team
thinking
got
it's
shelled by the
stupidity.
Red Sox.
By the way, how did the Dodgers do with Matt Scherzer? Did they win?
Better than your
Did they
Yankees
win?
did, pal.
Did they win?
They did better
they
than
win?
the Yankees did, yes.
Did they win? Yes or
They
no?
won a lot more games, and they had a longer
Did they
postseason
win?
run.
Did they win?
No, they didn't.
All right. So
But
there you
neither
go.
did the team that everyone
you
thought
go.
was going to win, too.
That's not my question.
Giants
Did
got
they
bounced
win?
in the first round.
Did they win? That's all I'm asking. You
Well,
said no. So
they didn't win.
So
but they won more than the Yankees did.
It doesn't matter
You know
because
why?
they didn't win. You played to
Pitching
win.
wins.
Oh, yeah.
Pitching wins.
All right. Pitching wins. Pitching win. Okay.
Right.
No. So you're telling me pitching won the World Series this year?
Yeah.
That's what
Kinda
you're saying?
did, yeah.
Yeah.
The
No.
Braves had good pitching.
First of all, it was offense that won the World Series this year.
Atlanta
Come
put
on.
up a lot of offense.
It was a lot of offense this year, and it was Atlanta outscoring and
Yes.
out hitting the Astros. It was 8-0 when
Wouldn't that be bad
they won
pitching?
the final game of Game 6 because they scored 8 runs.
It was good offense and creative pitching.
That's fine, but offense won the World Series this year, and hot offense won the World Series this year. So don't give me pitching only wins championships because that's not true. Yes,
most
usually,
of the time.
Now, I think
usually-
Most of
pitching,
the time.
I would say pitching won them the NLCS, though, if you want to say against the Dodgers.
but first
Pitching
of all-
won Astros the ALCS.
First of all, if you look at the Braves, they average almost 5 runs a game in the playoffs. That's a lot. That is a lot. Okay. And when was the last time you've seen it? How about this? Here's a good question. Who was the last team to average 5 runs and won the World Series?
Yeah, we lost Jeff.
You know he knows the answer
Who
already.
cares if
That's
we
why I
lost
asked.
Jeff? Who was the last team to do it?
The last team to average 5 runs a game to win the World Series.
I'm going to say it's a trick question, and the Yankees are the answer.
You're right. The Yankees are the answer. But what Yankee team did it?
09?
98.
Whatever.
98.
09?
It was 98. 98 Yankees. 5.4. 5.4. So the Braves.
Padres couldn't get an out, by the way. but that's okay.
Again, this year it wasn't. You need pitching. You need timely pitching. But it was all about the offense.
Yankees didn't get it at all.
Yeah. The fact is,
none.
The fact is, again, you make it seem like the Yankees they got Joey Gallo for nothing. Nothing. They need left-handed power. Who did they give up? Half those guys, the 3 guys that they traded away, probably are never going to step foot on the
That's fine
MLB.
and dandy. That's great. But do you understand that they brought in Andrew Heaney and
my
said
God,
this
still
is
with
the
this
answer?
Andrew Heaney
Was
thing.
that with the
Because you
Dodgers?
look at the other names that got moved, Errol. He's like the dumbest name
They
on the
weren't
list.
getting back Scherzer. He didn't want
I
to come
don't
here.
give a shit about Max
You
Scherzer.
do.
I
got
bet
a
you they didn't make a
contact.
phone call.
How do you know? Are you hanging out with Brian Cashman?
Are you hanging out with Brian Cashman? Can you tell me that he didn't make a phone call?
The guy that you wanted to drop, which teams would be lying. I remember I just read something that if Brian Cashman got let go for the Yankees, every single team in the major leagues would have been. They would have fired
He's
Heaney.
stale. Let him go.
That's stale. Okay,
He's stale.
Okay. He said you ask any
Another
you
left-handed
ask-
bat. All right.
if
Another
you
left-handed
ask-
bat. All right.
Tyler, if you ask any owner in this league, if Brian Cashman became available, if they wouldn't drop their GM right now, they would tell you they would drop their GM and pick up Brian
And
Cashman.
listen, there's only one name I want.
What do you think, Beef? Is
And
this
he
why the
doesn't
Mets
want
are
a job,
stalling?
so it's okay.
Mets.
I would take Cashman in a heartbeat.
I would too.
I think right now that they would pay Brian Cashman or the Yankees $350 billion if they could get Brian Cashman. Okay,
But
It's
then you have to do
Steve, all of Steve Cohen's not his money. That'll work.
It's
Then
ridiculous.
you have to do that,
And for
'cause
you,
they're gonna
and for
overpay
you
for
to
him.
not think that, it's ridiculous. The Yankees have arguably the top 3
He's
GM, if not the best GM in baseball.
That's fine.
Okay?
The best
And-
GM in baseball retired and is waiting for the commissioner job.
Okay. You're absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah, he's not going to the Mets anyways.
You're absolutely out of
Theo
your
Epstein's
mind.
a freaking brilliant man.
And Brian Cashman isn't.
I don't know.
You have
He
so
ended
much
2
hatred.
100-year droughts.
Dude, you have.
That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, okay,
He built
that's
the
fine.
Red Sox and the Cubs.
And you don't think Brian Cashman
And-
would have done that?
No, he probably could have.
Come on, man. You're mistaken what the greatness of what Brian Cashman
And
has
you're
done for
living in the
Yankees.
past.
I'm not.
You are.
The Yankees have had a winning record for 30 years
That's
straight.
fantastic.
How many sports teams
That's
have ever
great.
done it? How many sports
Zero.
teams?
One, if you want to include the Yankees.
None.
So here's the
Except
thing.
them.
Here's the thing.
It's not even close.
What have you won?
Winning is
records.
hard. Do you
That's
understand? Winning championships are hard. You get into your head.
The Islanders haven't done it in 30 years. I understand. The Jets haven't done it in 50 years. I understand. The Knicks haven't done it in a very long time, too. I understand. Guess what, buddy? The Yankees are the only cream you got. That's all you understand? And your losing attitude is affecting this team.
Dude, you gotta get yourself a Boston cream or something.
You need to wake up. The Yankees' old way of doing is gone. It's over. Now that they're trying to be hip and smart, they are. They're no longer lead of the pack.
Tyler.
And by the way, you want to know how I know they screwed up?
Wait to hear this.
The Yankees head, the payroll's going to go up. We're buying everything. You know what that
Really?
means?
Is that what you think they're going to do?
What? That's what they came out and said. That they're going to shoot up the payroll. You know what that means? We don't know where the hell we're doing. We're just going to start bringing in talent
Who told you
again.
that? Because Hal Steinbrenner never said that. Brian Cashman never said that.
Bleacher Report reported earlier
Oh my
yesterday.
God! The great Bleacher Report.
Hold on.
Great Bleacher
They're
Report.
more right than they are wrong.
Really?
They're more right than the three of us.
Really?
So all I'm saying is,
so what has Bleacher Report done in the last 3 years that make them right? I want to hear this. I want to
constant
hear
stories.
this. Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Constant stories.
Give me one.
What do you mean?
Give me one.
BS stories.
Well, let's just
Give
get
me
into the
one.
fact that they also reported Kevin Durant leaving for Golden State.
Hey,
And everyone was
don't
like,
hate on Bleacher
"Nah."
Report NBA. We had a guest on him last week.
Everyone knew
Right.
he was leaving Golden
Everybody
State.
knew they
I'm
were
just
leaving.
saying. I'm just saying. You said
Everybody
name
knew
one.
that.
That was one.
No, that was one. Ooh, that was everybody. Okay. First of all, Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman came out a couple of weeks ago and said Hal didn't even give him the range that he wants to spend in the offseason. So we have a caller. Hold on one second.
All right, I'll read the comments while you get that.
Hold on one second. Make sure that the thing is on so we can put them on.
All right, I'll just read some of the comments first.
All right, put them on.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's put them on. Who are we speaking to?
Squad members. This is K-Dog from
What's
Chicago.
going on, K-Man? What's going on?
Nothing much. Got to call and talk about this Jokic. This Jokic controversy.
Oh,
It's
yes.
been,
Left punch.
been
By the way,
that game.
the Morris brothers are the biggest hoodlums right now.
That's a good way to describe it.
They are. They're hood, man. They how many times have we seen them with the Marquise
and Marcus.
and Marcus, and they're on the same team right now. How many times have we seen these two guys instigate fights on the court? Honestly, and if I was Jokic, I would have beaten the crap out of both of them because they were both on the court. I would have taken their heads and smacked them together. You know, first of all, if they suspend Jokic for protecting himself,
They did it for one game.
They
did
suspended
one game. One
that's,
game.
That to me, that's a complete.
And the other
joke.
guy got fined. I don't know how much.
He didn't get suspended.
No, he got fined.
It's
fined
ridiculous.
only.
That's stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he only got fined.
He's
I
the
don't
one
know
who
how
threw
much,
the first
though.
punch.
I'm not sure.
Oh, by the way, sorry. It was re-reported by Bleacher Report. The initial report, CBS Sports.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
And Brian Cashman, out of his own mouth, said the payroll is going to go up and he has room for latitude movement to make additions. So I'll accept your humble apology, and now they're going to go out there and buy
No,
the
but
talent.
when did that come out?
A day ago, like I said.
A day ago. When Brian Cashman about 3 weeks ago said that it hasn't come out that Al Steinbrenner is giving me the okay that I'm going to even spend.
It's all
the
right.
money.
I'm updating you. It's okay.
Well, you can update. Here's what you can update right here.
That's my line.
Update that and you can sit on it. Anyways, go ahead, K-Dog. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Morris twins. They are definitely known to stir the pot, take some cheap shots. But what I want to talk about is the delusional Miami Heat fan base. Is there a more annoying
They have fans?
fan
I
base
didn't know
in the
that.
NBA than a Miami
They
Heat?
have
I don't
fans.
think there is. They're whole, oh, we're tough, we're rough riders, this and that, and they kind of their whole world got blew up whenever Jokic came. They kind of just punked their whole team. And then they say, well, Jimmy Butler, he didn't see it. I say, well, why didn't Jimmy Butler do anything? Well, he was turned around. He didn't see it. What do you think happened when you got Morris sitting there in the fetal position? You got Jokic standing over the top of him like Debo. And what do you think happened? You think they just like kind of bumped? He fell over? No, he knew what happened. Jokic went and pushed him to the ground. And now they're trying to say, oh, he didn't see. He didn't know what happened. But then afterwards, you know, they do the whole be back thing. He's screaming at half court. Well, meet me in the back. Meet me in the back. It's just the NBA.
Oh, the Kevin Garnett, Carmelo Anthony.
Yep.
What did he call
Into the
Kevin
locker
Garnett? Say,
room, yeah.
or what did he call his wife? She tastes like what? What was the cereal?
Cheerios
or something. I mean, that was one of the best lines. That was one of the best
And
lines.
Carmelo's lucky he didn't get a hold of him.
or Lucky Charms. or
Lucky
something.
Charms. Yeah.
That was great when he said that. I miss Kevin Garnett just because
Carmelo
of his
Anthony's really lucky he didn't get into Kevin Garnett because Kevin Garnett would have messed him up pretty bad.
I don't know about that. Carmelo Anthony can fight, man. He's you make it seem like Carmelo. First of all, he's got weight behind him. Kevin Garnett is a tall stilt. He's a stilt.
I don't think Melo's arms would even reach Garnett's head.
Oh man,
that's the first.
You're out of your mind.
And second of all, do you really think Kevin Garnett would go around saying your wife tastes like Cheerios if he really didn't?
I
want
would.
some
I
of
say
the
it all the
smoke?
time.
But you're prepared for what the recourse could be. You don't just say that. Kevin Garnett was ready for war.
Dude, he was never going to fight.
No, I get it.
He hid in the locker room when Melo was waiting for him. Yes, he did.
He didn't hide anywhere.
Really?
Mm.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
How about you, K-Dog? You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
I remember at MSG.
Matter of fact.
Go ahead, look it up.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, go ahead. I can't wait for this.
I know somebody that knows Garnett very close.
Oh, okay. Put him on. Put him on.
What?
Put him on.
What do you mean?
You know him.
I don't know of him. I know through him.
You know through him? How
Like, I know
through
somebody that knows him who knows Garnett. It's a very long chain. But long chain link. But anyway.
Interesting.
Garnett was ready.
Yeah. As far as Jokic, though, I think this is just the NBA, the fake tough guys. Now saying, circle the calendar. Like November 29th, they play him again. So I'll be ready. We're gonna set you straight or something. They're not gonna do shit.
No, I don't think so either.
Typical NBA talk. They're always fake tough guy routine. There's a lot of tough guys, but there's also a lot of
Yeah, I just don't know if
they're
Jokic
tough.
is necessarily like that. I don't think they'll retaliate like that.
I don't think so. But I'll tell you this. I think if they play the Nuggets this year again, I do believe they'll drop. They'll do something.
Maybe if that's the finals or something.
They'll do something this year. I believe the Nuggets will do something. They will retaliate in the game this year.
Right. It might even be somebody else targeting like those players involved. That I could see. Absolutely.
I
But
don't
you're right.
think it'll be Jokic.
You're right, Kevin. Though I think Jokic won't be that guy.
No,
though,
he
so.
won't. He's not that kind of guy. But I believe that I guarantee you the Nuggets will retaliate after. Remember, Jokic is their best player by far. It's not even close. And by the way, Jokic was probably probably the best steal we've ever seen out of the second round. I don't think we've ever seen a player.
You could say that.
This
They
good.
were showing it like
as
was
a
it 2
second-round
years ago when
player.
they went to the Western Conference Finals? They were showing they had a commercial on when he was drafted. Like they didn't even get the announcement from even the second guy. Not
Who was in
Adam
that draft? He
Silver.
was by far probably the best player in that
Yeah,
draft.
2016. Yeah, he has to be. That's the Simmons Ingram. That whole draft. He has to be without question.
I mean, special. But I mean, is that the only thing you wanted to talk about?
Let's talk about Rodgers.
Oh, let's go.
No,
The king.
not this guy again.
Let's talk about A-Rod. You know, the thing with A-Rod is the media getting on their high horse saying, "Oh, he put people in danger. He lied." Just give it a rest. Give it a rest, because they always do this shit. They always think they're on their moral superiority complex, trying to talk down to people. Oh, Roger, he should be ashamed.
But that's what Rodgers does on a daily basis.
That's what a lot of players do in professional sports. K-Dog, I'm going to tell you this. I've been around a lot of great professional athletes. I was an athlete. I'm sure you were an athlete, but I've been around a lot of top athletes. Most of these guys, if they think that you're nothing or you're a nobody or you're just a media guy or a fan or just something, if they don't feel like you're an equal, they're going to talk down to you, and more than likely they're going to treat you like crap. Derek Jeter, and I'll say this again, a lot of people are Derek Jeter fans. They love him. Derek Jeter is one of the greatest shortstops to ever play the game. I've met Derek Jeter almost 4 times. Every single time I've met Derek Jeter and had a conversation with him, he wouldn't even fully speak to me because he didn't feel like I was an equal. Okay? Then I met Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez would have a 30-minute conversation with me, offset with baseball, football, basketball. Like, he actually wanted to have a conversation with somebody that it wasn't an equal to him. There are players out there that are just not nice players. They're just not. I know Patrick Kane personally. I'll tell you this, people that know Patrick, if you met Patrick and he didn't know who you were, he'd probably treat you like garbage. He's not a nice guy, personally.
A lot of them are not nice.
He's just not. It's just then you'll meet a Henrik Lundqvist who's a sweet guy. I mean, he's a sweet guy.
He talked to me for about 20 minutes
Yeah.
outside the garden one day.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
Crazy.
I've heard from many different people that Henrik Lundqvist is one of the nicest people you can. He'll sit down and eat a dinner with you. You know, it's just people hated Brad Marchand. Okay, hated him. He's mean. He spits. He bites people. Right? You know what Brad Marchand is, right?
Hell no.
All right, he's a hockey player he was a mean hockey player that did a lot of bad things.
He licked people too.
I tell you, Adam Graves was very nice. I met him.
Adam Graves
he
was
was
very
a
nice.
very nice
and
guy.
this guy, I saw him at the end of Stanley Cup Finals. You know, a girl from one of the writers dropped her balloon, and a balloon fell all the way up in the rafters. He got a 25-foot, ladder, brought it out when he's getting ready for a game, and climbed up the ladder to get her balloon back. I mean, did he have to do that? I was very surprised. I became a fan of his just by what he did, and I hated him. So there are plays in basketball. Well, let's remember some of that. Larry Bird was a prick. I mean, people have said Larry Bird.
So was Michael Jordan.
I mean, Michael Jordan too. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about Michael Jordan too. And then you'll have guys like Magic Johnson that
100%.
If you meet Magic Johnson, he's the coolest down to earth person. He'll sign your
I heard
basketball.
Charles Barkley was pretty cool.
I never met Charles Barkley.
I heard he was all right.
You know, I met Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq, so do I. That guy is. He talked to me for about 10, 15 minutes.
Regarding the athletes, the diva athletes. There's no doubt about
And
that.
I know a lot of people are attacking Rodgers, and I'm going to go back to Rodgers and all the haters that can't stand Aaron
He did
Rodgers.
nothing wrong.
I don't feel like he lied, and he should be fined for it. A lot more than 14 grand. A lot more. He should be fined 100 grand, 200 grand, because that will tell him either get the vaccine or wear your damn mask. Okay. But to suspend him, or somebody says to suspend him for 4 games, that's ridiculous. And I do not see the NFL doing that. There's no way they're going to suspend one of the great players or the faces of their sport. It's not going to happen. Now, you probably hate Aaron Rodgers, right?
No, I like Aaron Rodgers. I just think, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan from Chicago, so that'll tell you that. But it's not even about that.
That's
it's
tough
the
to
fact
do.
That, it is the fact that he everything he said was right on the Pat McAfee show. We talk about the science. He talked about the dangers, the risk.
That's not the point.
Immunity, all that stuff. He's right. And just because he said something, immunization or immunize, whatever he said, okay, he misled people. So what? Nobody was at risk. No, he didn't put anybody at risk.
That's not true because you don't
That's
know.
That's all BS.
You don't know who's at risk, though, with the other players, the other fans, whatever context they could come into.
Tyler,
too.
what do you mean it's not true? What are you talking about?
That's not true. That's ridiculous.
What's not true?
You can't go around saying that no one was affected or no one could have been hurt because you don't know that. You have no idea.
If all those players are vaccinated,
they're fine.
They're protected, right?
Listen,
I'm just asking.
My uncle mentioned this to you before.
Your uncle?
Yeah.
Right. Uncle.
What I'm trying to
uncle now.
So what I'm saying
He's
here
gonna
to
be
you-
his daddy.
Are you done? Are we done with the third grade remarks, or are we going to talk some sports?
Go ahead, spit it out.
I'm trying to, but you keep making like third grade one-liners over there. Zing, zang, zoom. Bang, Batman. Are you good?
I'm sitting here.
All right,
I mean,
fine.
spit it out, Johnny.
So, Aaron Rodgers, it has nothing to do. If you didn't want to get vaccinated, fine. That's your business. I personally don't think the vaccine's that big of a deal. But anyway, you lied. You wanted Ryan Braun thrown out of baseball for lying because people got fired because of his steroid lies, right?
A person did get fired. Did anybody get fired from Aaron Rodgers?
You don't know.
Yes, you do. And nothing came out.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers actually got Aaron Rodgers fired. How many freaking endorsements he lost already?
Oh,
wow.
Okay, listen.
Does he need
what
that?
did you say?
No, he doesn't. But
You
he's
said that
been
he put people
fired.
at risk.
So
You said
no,
that he put
but
people
if
at
you're
risk.
not vaccinated and you have COVID and you're going around talking to media personnel without a mask on, and you get somebody COVID, right? And they go home and they get their grandma sick and she dies. Aaron Rodgers flipping the bill for that? Aaron Rodgers got money that's going to make that go away?
hold on a second.
Come on, wise guys. Answer the question.
They can still be vaccinated and still pass it.
Grandma
to
already
somebody.
got vaccinated. Every freaking
That's
old person.
fine. But the point of the fact is being vaccinated does not immune you from getting COVID. It only can help make it go away.
That's
protect
it.
you. Okay, that's
but-
fine.
So you could be vaccinated. They can give it to Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron just can go give it to somebody else.
Right. But if Aaron
So-
Rodgers is just kind of being careless and goes over and coughs on you, you bring it home, and somebody dies from it, you're not going to be mad at Aaron Rodgers because you're lying straight to my face.
No.
Okay, then. You're full of shit. I don't know what to tell you. If Aaron Rodgers got somebody sick and they brought that unknowingly home and somebody died, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't feel bad? He might not because he's a prick. But Aaron Rodgers should give a shit. And it's not even like
It's not even like he's a prick. Do you know him personally?
What?
Well,
You want to talk about you?
From what
first of
people
all,
said,
Don't bring his mom. Don't
Right.
bring his
Hold
mom.
on.
From what
I'm
people said, he is a prick.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most hated guys in all sports.
100%.
Especially by teammates and ex-coaches and
They're
everything.
saying he's not a nice guy in person.
You gotta
so.
be crazy. And he looks now like a
That's
homeless
not what
bum.
I hear.
So,
That's what I
that's
hear.
fine. I don't really care what anyone hears. I'm gonna go with the reports of his family and him being.
Him
I don't
and his
care.
family are fine.
Now
Now they are, but they
that's
weren't
fine.
before.
They
but-
didn't like Munn, and that's why. And he took
That's
over because he
fine.
thought he was going to marry, and that's what you take. You
Fine.
take the woman over your family. That's what
Fine.
happens.
That's fine, whether it happens or not. He said some
From what
immature
I heard,
things.
he's a
Now
prick.
let's even go past. Let's go past all the. Oh, I hate my family, and I'm going to go with my wife. Shit. Even how he handled this is kind of ridiculous. You're going to quote Martin Luther King Jr. and act like you're a hero? Prick, what do you mean you're a hero? You lied about being vaccinated. What? What heroic thing have you done? What heroic thing did Aaron Rodgers do? He stood up for civil rights? No. You're just as dumb as Colin Kaepernick is. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with anything. All it has to do with the fact is you lied about something that was agreed to by the players. The players' PA said this is what you need to do. And he knew he wasn't vaccinated. He knew the immunization word he used was bullshit.
So let him suffer for it. What does it matter?
That's
He
fine.
got
Guess
COVID.
what? You are going to suffer. You should be suspended.
No, he shouldn't.
Yes, he absolutely should.
No, he shouldn't.
He absolutely should.
How about you, Katie? What do you think?
I mean, Devontae Adams is the one who got it, and he's vaccinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who got it like a week later. He missed the game, and he was vaccinated.
he was
so-
vaccinated. It's only him and it's only Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard so far that we know that were unvaccinated at a Halloween party.
So if Devontae Adams is vaccinated, he got COVID. He had to miss it. Would you be just as mad at him for spreading it?
Well, we don't
No,
know.
because
We don't know
Devontae
who else has
Adams
been caught yet.
Probably unknowingly had it.
Remember, the organization has also
But
been
guess
fined
what?
too. That leads me to believe there's more players that are going to be.
Because Aaron Rodgers was such a stuck-up prick.
There's
he probably
56
didn't
players on
understand-
a team. You're thinking that only Aaron Rodgers and Lazard are the only ones
Nope.
that are fake. Come on,
I don't think so.
This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And Aaron Rodgers, because he's a superstar,
100%.
and he's one of the faces of football. You know what they're going to do? They're going to roll him down the aisle and try to make him hit all the pins. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, when you're the most hated guy in the league.
He's not
because
the
of your-
most hated guy in the
Who's
league.
the most hated guy in the league?
It's not him.
Who is?
There are a lot of hated guys in the league. There's a lot of guys hated in the league. You're going to tell me he's the most hated guy in all of the NFL? That's a joke.
He's pretty up there.
No,
he's not the
You got
most.
Who is?
killing people, drunk driving, killing people, beating people. and
Well,
you're
they're
saying
no
about
longer
a
in the league.
vaccine?
They're all unemployed. Henry Ruggs will
Listen,
never play a game again.
Tom
David
Brady is
Arnett
very
will never
hated
play
in
a
the
game.
league. Very hated in the league.
Not by his teammates.
It doesn't
Not by
matter.
anyone with
He's
common
very
sense.
hated in the league. He's very hated. People do
That's
not like
professional envy.
Oh,
That's not. that's not hate.
So look at your smirk. You think
No, it's not.
It's professional envy. Okay,
It
and,
is.
and you don't think that with Aaron Rodgers? Come on.
What
dude.
has Rodgers won? One Super Bowl 10 years ago?
Do you really want? Do you want me to? Because we can get into the numbers. I can tell you that
You,
Aaron
you
Rodgers
keep bringing up numbers. I care about winning.
Okay.
I care about winning.
Rodgers
Teams
is the reigning
win
MVP.
championship, not one player. Again, I'm going to tell you. And if you look
Tom
at
Brady has 800% more Super Bowls
this is
and 1,000 more trips.
This is ridiculous.
This
is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even going to get into the conversation because all you do is bring in championships. You need a team to win championships,
And they have
It's
no
not-
team.
what
That
are you-
team is
What are you talking
terrible.
about? What are you talking about?
Top wide receiver.
Are we
decent
going to get
O-line,
in?
top
Hold on.
running back.
We're going to get into the Green Bay Packers' talent over Tom Brady's talent over the years because I could
Outside
destroy
of
you.
this Tampa Bay
I
team,
could destroy
they're-
you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. First of all, Aaron Rodgers has had worse defense in all of football in the
That's-
last 10 years.
Well,
the last 10
no,
years.
Drew
And by
Brees
the way,
has.
no, he
the
hasn't.
Saints have had
No,
more.
he
Drew
hasn't.
Brees.
The Saints have
Aaron
had more.
Rodgers has had the worst.
The Saints have historically bad defenses.
Are you
They've given
talking?
up the most
Aaron
points and
Rodgers
most
brought
yards.
the worst defense in the NFL to an NFC title game and lost against Atlanta. The worst by far.
Oh, yeah, that year was horrible. Oh, my God.
By far.
That team had no business in the NFC
By
Championship.
far. Okay? And he took that team to an NFC title game.
That's
So
great.
don't get me started with what you think you know.
He remembers it well.
You don't
All
know.
I know is that Tom Brady had that same Atlanta team, and he only came back from the biggest Super Bowl deficit we've ever seen.
So now we're going to get into
We're not doing this Brady Rodgers thing. The fact of the matter is,
show.
Aaron Rodgers lied about something that could have killed somebody, right? Which
let's do this. Rodgers, this is what I had a problem with. This you brought up the MLK quote. Oh my gosh, you brought up a quote. You can't do that. That's blasphemy. All he said was he's talking about standing by his convictions, something you believe in. You got the whole world trying to shame, condemn. Oh, you're putting people at risk. You're killing people, just like you're saying. That's all he said, and he's 100% right. You have to compare everything to civil rights movement. It's about
no.
And then he said,
You have to
Joe
understand
Rogan.
the parallel here.
He confronted Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan recovered from the COVID in 3 days, and he's 60 years old. I think that's a good idea.
Right, he reached out to Joe Rogan about the cocktail. I get all that, and that's fine. Joe Rogan has nothing to do with A or B. Aaron Rodgers
it does. It's
sat
the whole
there,
situation
and people like you allow him to do this. He sits there on a pedestal and talks down to people because he's a condescending prick. And that's okay. And people enjoy this because he's a quarterback, and he's great, and he's God, and he's the best quarterback to ever throw a football for 5 minutes. That's cool and dandy. That's great. That's awesome. You're part of the problem. He's a human being. He puts his pants on just like you do.
Do that.
What?
Max Kellerman doesn't do that.
Max Kellerman
Stephen
doesn't
A.
do
Smith
what?
doesn't do that.
Yeah, Max Kellerman
They
just
all
lost a
do that.
primetime job,
They
so
all
I don't
do
really
that.
care about Max
because
Kellerman.
of Stephen A. Smith.
Everybody should
who's
be
a
lying
prick.
to people like that. I don't give a. Everybody should be lying to people like that. They don't deserve the truth in the first place because they're a bunch of clickbait merchants. That's a fact.
What?
I'm confused.
You lost me completely. Like, I don't even want to have this
Talking about
conversation
lying.
anymore.
He said he's lying. Like, he lied to this.
But
and
what
that.
Max
His
Kellerman
teammates
lie
knew.
about?
His
Max
teammates
Kellerman's a
knew.
fool, but he doesn't lie. He's just
He lies all the time.
About what?
He lies all the time.
About what?
What did he lie about? He lied about the riots. He said that
Max Kellerman doesn't talk about riots. He's on sports shows.
Yeah, that's what he said on his show. He said they're all peaceful protests. That's what he said. That's a complete
Listen,
lie.
we're not having this. We're not having a political debate on this show. I've been yelled at for this too many times.
I just gave you an example. He lied. Said he doesn't lie. He lied.
I mean,
Next
if he
topic.
thinks there are peaceful protests, he thinks it's a peaceful protest. That's not lying. That's an opinion. So,
That's a blatant lie. He misled. Okay, how about that? The same thing Rodgers did. He misled.
no, he didn't miss.
Who's he talking about? What's
He
going
said
on?
Max
Kellerman
Kellerman
lied
lied
about
a
protest
protest or something.
Absolutely did. He's absolutely right. He did. But he's not going to get suspended.
He didn't lie. It was his opinion toward it.
But understand something. He brought up something that was completely wrong. It's just like, well, who's the other guy? Steve Levy. He said something about Harris's, where he was sleeping in, when he was sleeping at the, there was a whole story that Levy apologized to, wrote after saying something at Monday Night Football about who's that running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris, telling a story that was completely untrue.
That's different than saying it was a peaceful protest or whatever the hell Max Kellerman said.
Max Kellerman brought up something that's a complete lie.
If you're bringing up a wrong story, that's the same thing.
A lie.
Now, it looks worse because
Well,
of Harris's story versus the protest.
What was the story
but
he brought
it's
up?
a wrong story, though.
It's objectively wrong. So that's not an opinion.
It shouldn't
That's
matter
just
what
wrong.
the story is. If you brought up
It's just-
fake journalism, it's
You're
fake
saying
journalism.
It's like it's an opinion or something. Like that's an opinion.
He didn't say it as an
But
opinion. He said
Aaron
it was
Rodgers is mad at the journalists for doing their job. You lied. That's why.
But
it's
if you're
a
bringing
story.
up fake journalism, it's fake journalism.
I understand, but it's not fake.
No, you're
You
right.
lied.
Everyone can
You
twist
lied.
the story their own way.
And
Come on, Tyler. Everybody lies. What do you think?
That's
you think
fine.
He's the only
Guess
one?
what?
And he's the one that's getting attacked. Okay.
But guess what? When you sign the contract to play for the Green Bay Packers under the NFL regime, guess what that means? Whatever the NFL tells you,
Let me ask you a
you
question.
have to abide
Let
by,
me ask
whether
you a
you
question.
like it or not.
Let me ask you a question. Now, I thought it was wrong how the NFL treated Tom Brady with the deflate gate and stuff like that.
Oh, it was terrible.
You don't think Tom Brady
Which
knew
one?
that the balls were deflated?
He probably did.
Okay, he did. I know
Okay,
he did.
but
I
it
know
was
he
a
did.
legal
But
amount.
he
It was fine.
denies it. He denies it to this day that he knew nothing about that. You believe him?
I believe that he didn't know
Do you
anything
believe
of the
him? Yes
plan
or no?
to deflate the footballs.
Get out of here. You're going to believe?
He probably knew they were deflated. I don't think he knows
Dude,
how
they
it
took
happened.
the balls into the bathroom. I mean, come on, and then brought it out.
So Tom Brady,
he knew
the quarterback of an AFC Championship team.
I think it was more Belichick than Brady.
But they both. He knows. When a quarterback touches a ball, he doesn't know it.
He probably realized they were deflated. But
come on,
you think Tom Brady had the time?
He's a whole
in a
team.
halftime of an
They
AFC
get to use their
Championship game
balls
to go, hey, Tony, yeah, you
That
deflated
was
my balls,
That
right?
wasn't halftime.
Okay,
It was before the game.
No, it was at the halftime.
It was before the game.
Both.
It was before the game.
What time would Tom Brady have?
What happened?
What time does Tom Brady have to go and make sure that little Tommy and little Jimmy deflated the ball half of an ounce?
Tom Brady didn't, but
He
Tom
didn't
Brady
know.
had.
I don't think he knew.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to tell me right now,
I don't think
as
he
a
knew.
quarterback, he's been holding a football. He's been an NFL quarterback.
He probably realized
for
they were
20
deflated.
years. He doesn't know when he grabs a football if it's a little deflated or not. Come
He probably
on.
knew, but to say
Come
there that Bill
on.
Belichick grabbed him in his office and said, "Hey, Tommy,
I'm not.
you want to know how we win?
Who cares? Who cares? Because to
Now
me, you
who's
shouldn't-
lying?
I'm
Now
just
who's
saying.
lying?
How about this? Bill Belichick. He didn't know about Spygate. He didn't know. That's why Goodell had to completely disappear.
Belichick wasn't on everything.
He knew about that. Everybody on the team knew that there were cameramen standing on the sidelines when St. Louis was practicing. Come on, get out of here.
Two different things.
It's two different things. It's
One's
lying.
a game,
It's cheating.
one's life. One can die. Who's going to die from Bill Belichick going to practice in a walk around?
How are you
Who's
going to
gonna
die?
die?
How are you going to die when you have the vaccine?
People are dying. Whether you want to
You can
admit it
still
or
die.
not.
You can still die with the vaccine.
There's
very
only been
rare.
2 deaths of it.
Very rare.
that are
I'm just saying.
recorded.
No, there's more than that.
See, this
But
is it. This
here's
is
the
it.
big
Keep
thing.
saying
You're
that.
worried about the non-vaccinated people. And if Aaron
saying
Rodgers
that.
is
I got-
walking
hold on,
around
hold on. Leave my
carelessly
boy
with
there. I'm gonna
vaccinated
hang up.
people,
I'm
what do you
gonna
think
get
he's
my
doing
boy
with
there.
Go ahead,
non-vaccinated
KD.
people?
Go ahead, KD. What were you
This
going to
is
say?
my problem. You keep repeating these talking points about putting lives at risk, people are dying, this and that, but you're not following the science. You're just repeating talking points. Like you said, the vaccinated people are just as likely to spread it. That's a fact. You can look it up. Multiple studies, Israeli studies. Vaccinated people are just
Well,
likely to
I'll be honest
Hold
with
on,
you.
let him
that's
finish.
hold on.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Hold on. All these athletes are completely healthy. They are not at risk for death. They get over it very quickly, the studies say. The only people that should be worried about it are the people who are not vaccinated that think that their own health. It's a personal health thing. If you catch it, it's going to be on you. And if you don't want to get it, and you're going to face more
Get the vaccine.
symptoms, then that's on you. It's a personal thing. You're repeating talking points about lives in danger and this and that.
No, I'm
If
not.
you have the
We
vaccine,
lived COVID.
if he's
So
around,
sorry.
listen, if he's around all the other football players on the field and they have the vaccine, they're not going to die, even if he gets it. Because
What about the regular Joe Schmo, Errol, that he deals with on a daily basis? And no one's
don't go next to him then.
But you don't know.
You
He
think he
didn't
has
know. That's the point.
Oh God, he didn't know. So
You don't know when you get COVID.
Tyler-
You just get sick.
Tyler,
You had it. You're going to tell me
Tyler-
you woke up and said, "Oh, I have
if
COVID
you told
today"?
me you had the vaccine, I that doesn't mean I have to believe you. So I'm going to wear my mask
Well,
around.
why
you.
would I lie and tell you I'm vaccinated if I'm not? What's
Why-
the point?
Why would you?
I'm not vaccinated.
There are
I
a
don't
lot of
want to get
people that are
vaccinated.
lying because they don't want the shot, so they get the card, they get the cheating card, so they could go to football games, go to basketball games, go
I
to
have
hockey
news
games.
for these
Don't tell me that there are tons
You're going to
of
be
people.
going to jail soon for this.
Okay, but right now they're not.
Well, be careful where you put yourself.
But you're saying be careful, but it's not going
It's
on.
federal
right now.
documents that you're misleading people.
And I'm going to tell you right now.
So be
Aaron
careful.
Rodgers is definitely not the last, and he's not the first that's done this.
That's fine.
And
You should make
and
an
for-
example of Rodgers.
Make an example. I
Sorry.
got it now.
First to
I
Steve.
got it now.
Early bird gets the worm.
Because Aaron Rodgers is the superstar, and he's the first superstar to get caught doing this. You know what? We're gonna drop the hammer on him. Hey, how about this? Why don't we suspend him for 2 years? Let's just
All right,
let's just
not be
settle.
crazy.
Let's just flip
4
the
games
quarter.
in 2 years is dramatically different.
4 games when a team has an opportunity to win a
They're
Super Bowl.
7-2.
Okay.
They will at worst be 7-5 when he comes
if
back.
Aaron Rodgers
and
doesn't
still
play,
win the division.
If Aaron Rodgers don't play, okay, in those 4 games, they lose.
Of course.
They lose. Their
Yeah,
team
okay.
is
They're still making the
horrible.
playoffs.
They're horrible without him.
Now with
So
Jordan
is
Love,
Seattle,
man.
but no one
Horrible.
acknowledges Russell Wilson at all.
They've won
This
without
isn't
Russell
the
Wilson.
Arizona Cardinals where they could put in Colt McCoy and he come put up 31 points and get a win. These Packers need Rodgers.
110%. People, and this is what the Packers, out of all the quarterbacks in all of football, they need their quarterback more than any team does in professional football. That's how much better they are when he's on the field. And it's facts. You can see the numbers. It's not even close. It's not even close. Okay? So that just shows you how important, how special Aaron Rodgers is to that roster. So again, we could go back and forth with this. We can argue about this, and fine. You want to say that Aaron Rodgers should be suspended? I disagree, because when you look at the big picture and you look at where the league is going and the transition of the league, you shouldn't be forced to do something you don't want to do. And
You're right.
And hold on. And if you're agreeing to the thing that to get the vaccination, I am telling you right now, there are at least 150, 200 players right now in the league.
Probably more.
Maybe even more than that have not been vaccinated, that are lying that they got vaccinated just to protect themselves.
That's fine. But
Aaron Rodgers is the one they were attacked. You think Tom Brady got vaccinated?
Probably not.
He might not have to.
Do you think Tom
He
Brady?
might not have to.
He's admitted that he has.
He's admitted that he has been vaccinated.
He said he was vaccinated. Do you think he was?
I don't think Tom Brady would lie.
Oh, okay. You're wrong about that.
I don't think
Tom Brady was
part
part of a lying organization, so that's a lie. I mean,
well, he left the lying organization,
but he was part of a lying organization.
And he won.
He won what?
So lying wins.
What do you mean?
Right?
What did
By
you
your
mean?
logic?
Hold on one second. What do you mean he won? He won what? He won Super Bowls?
No.
The team won Super Bowls.
Yes.
Okay.
So
it's not
in
Aaron.
the post-COVID era, we've
Mhm.
had one Super Bowl.
Okay.
So the man says he's vaccinated, and Tom Brady has done everything as aggressive as possible.
Why don't
to
you
win.
get on your knees and suck his balls, man? I mean, that's what it sounds
just
like.
because you don't hate him doesn't mean
Hold
that
on
you
a
know.
second. I'm just telling you, you sound stupid. You
How?
sound dumb. Because I just told you, Tom Brady told you he was vaccinated.
Okay.
I'm
so why
asking
would he
you
lie?
because why would Aaron Rodgers lie? He did. He lied because he doesn't want to get the shot. He's just saying that just to protect himself, just to make everybody happy, so they leave him alone.
No, I would have been happier if he said, "Screw your vaccination. I don't want to get it."
And you think he was going to do that?
Why? Cole Beasley did it.
Cole Beasley did it.
And he's not nearly the stature of Aaron Rodgers.
Who's Cole Beasley? Who is he?
He's a slot receiver for the Bills.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he a good player?
He's all right.
He's a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Aaron
Okay,
Rodgers.
that's
Aaron Rodgers is the best or the second best quarterback in all of football.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you're talking about an elite player to a
You'd
guy
rather
that you
your
could
son
give
look
a
up
shit
to a
about.
liar than somebody that's like, I don't want to get
Because you
vaccinated.
could give a shit about Cole Beasley. Nobody cares.
No, I'm just saying in general. If Cole Beasley can be like, yeah, I'm not getting vaccinated, why can't Aaron Rodgers be like, yeah, I'm getting vaccinated?
Because
we're not getting vaccinated.
Maybe he's doing what the fans want. Maybe he's doing what the organization wants, and he just wants them to leave him alone. So he just agreed. Hey, yeah, I got my immunizations. Who cares? Who want to just leave it alone?
You really have no idea how big of a thing this really is, dude.
Honestly,
you're minimizing the shit.
Didn't they come at Cole Beasley too? That he didn't lie either. He said he don't want to get it. He's not getting it.
That's my whole point. Why couldn't Aaron Rodgers do that? He's such
Cole
a bad
Beasley
man.
was a full-blown
He's got such
advocate.
big balls.
There's a difference.
Point is, it doesn't matter if he lied or not. They're still going to come criticize, condemn.
That's fine. As a 38-year-old man, you should be able to take criticism. So, again,
why, though?
I'm not
Why are they saying
vaccinated. I don't think you
criticism
should
was
be
a
forced to
personal
get
choice?
vaccinated.
It is his life.
You can't lie.
It's his life. Who cares? It's his life. He's
But
putting himself at
it's
jeopardy.
bigger than him. That's what you're not understanding. It's bigger than Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
It's bigger than football.
Really?
Yes.
How?
Because he could have killed somebody. Henry Ruggs just lost his life. His life is over because he killed somebody and made a mistake. Right? Aaron Rodgers could have killed somebody. He could have killed multiple people. What?
Tyler.
What?
If everybody is forced to vaccinate on the field, and that's who he's around,
But not
90% of the
everyone's
time,
forced. The NFL Players Association agreed to
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah,
That's
which is
fine.
wrong because
That's
now
fine.
you got cops and
That's
nurses
fine.
and firefighters.
So what? Who
can't-
is he putting at risk? The other fans, the fans coming up to him asking for autographs. Don't go up to him. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to be nice
But
about
when
anything.
you come up and say, I'm vaccinated, little mommy's
He didn't
gonna
say that. He didn't say that.
I'm immunized, which 90%
Not
of the
saying
planet.
he's vaccinated.
What
Immunized.
common
Here's the
sense
point.
people
Doesn't
think.
matter.
He's
Vaccinated can spread it too.
Hold on.
Vaccinated people
Anybody
spread it
can
just
spread
as
the
much
damn
as-
virus.
Yes, that's not the point. The point is, vaccinated people
You're
do
the
not
one
give
saying
you
He
the
didn't
same.
say he was
people at
vaccinated.
risk.
Oh my god!
He's vaccinated.
An
Vaccinated people
immunized
can put
person-
anybody at risk. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or
immunized
not. You're putting
person-
yourself at risk no
I'm
matter
sorry.
what.
Immunization is the word that we all want to use.
So
because common sense doesn't mean I'm vaccinated.
this is all a bunch of BS. It's all I
So
can say.
anyway.
So
All right. I'm going to call it a night.
KD, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful
guys.
question.
Man, you're awesome. Keep listening. Keep calling, bud.
You know it.
KD from Chicago. Nice kid. And he's been
always good when he's on.
Yeah. And listen, he doesn't have to go and tell anybody
No.
anything. He doesn't.
Nobody has to tell anybody.
He doesn't have
anything.
to do anything.
Nope.
And that the players' union wants to do that, and they want to do it. First of all, they have no right to suspend him. They do have right to fine him because he signed a document stating that if you do this, that you will be fined. For them to try to suspend him, that's not right. That it doesn't say in the documents that they can suspend him. Okay, they can fine him. They can't suspend him. And by the way, if he's playing on the field and everybody else supposedly, quote unquote, is vaccinated,
Which they're not.
who is he killing? Who is
Nobody.
he killing?
It's
Nobody.
not about the athletes. It's
Who's it
about the
about?
non-athletes.
Okay.
The media people he deals
Oh.
with, the staff in the Green Bay locker room.
So what about the half the stadium was not vaccinated? All the fans, they can spread it too. So there you go.
This
You
is
gotta
where
stay
I want
sa-
speed.
it's the
This is
same
where-
thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, what do you mean?
No,
No, it's not.
You uncultured swine. This is
No,
why it's
no,
different.
no,
because
you're an
the
idiot.
stadium
You are a
divides it
complete
between
idiot.
vaccinated, unvaccinated.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do.
You're telling
they
me-
do,
No,
moron.
no,
they have
you're the
separate
moron.
entrances.
Get
They
outta
have
here.
separate seats. They have
They
separate
do not
everything.
have separate seats.
You're an idiot. You really are. You
No.
amaze me with
No.
how ignorant some of the things come out of your mouth. They will not.
instead of Jeff.
I'm right here. I'm right here. You're not 1,000 miles away. You're right here.
If I knock you out, you're gonna land on Speedy. You're gonna sit on him and kill
Oh
him.
yeah. And I hear the story. You beat up Errol too. So yeah, that's
okay.
always funny. Game.
Anyway,
Anyway,
can we get to a point here?
Oh,
the
the
point
point is
The point
that
is, it's a
vaccinated
bunch of
people-
BS, and that's it.
I would agree with you, Beav. I think it's bull. I
It
think
is
it's
bull.
dumb. I think the fact that people want to suspend him,
Because
fine him.
half the
He
people
deserves to be
vaccinated,
fined.
half aren't. So
Fine him.
what does it
is he on
matter?
your fantasy team?
No,
No.
I've
Doesn't
Kyler
matter.
Murray. I have
Yeah, it
Kyler
does
Murray.
matter.
I
I
don't
wanted
care.
to know.
How about this? You think Kyler Murray is vaccinated?
I don't care.
He
Did
should
he
be.
come out and
Cardinals
say-
are 100%
He
vaccinated.
should be allowed to play.
Did he
Sorry,
say
sure he
he's
is.
vaccinated?
I'm sure he is.
Okay. So why would I think he would lie about something? So
Aaron
first of all,
Rodgers did.
Well, right.
He said he said he's immunized. He never said he was vaccinated. He said he
Because
was
you know what's
immunized.
funny? If you met Aaron Rodgers and he gave you COVID and you brought home to somebody in your family and they got real sick, I know you'd be pissed off. But because it's Aaron Rodgers and you want to talk about getting on your knees and sucking balls, you'd suck his balls in about 5 seconds flat.
Pay me $1 million.
So you're letting it go. So you're letting it go because it's Aaron Rodgers. He's great. And he's Joe Montana 2.0, whatever your brain could warp to that. That's a problem. Because you like Aaron Rodgers, you let him go. But personally, you know damn well if Aaron Rodgers made you get
so let him
COVID,
go.
what? You're letting him get away with a borderline felony.
Are you
a borderline felony?
Felony?
Oh my
Making
God.
documentation to get into a
Are you
freaking
on drugs? Do you have to listen to yourself?
This is going to be crazy.
Get out of here. A felony?
Felony now.
This is going to be a borderline felony going forward. How much you want to bet? How much you want to
There we
bet?
go.
Hold on one second.
How much do you want to bet?
So
How's it going to be a felony when all
he
the
got
states
doctored papers.
blocking
Doctored
it?
papers.
doctor papers to what?
Saying he was immunized when he wasn't.
All right, he was immunized. He wasn't immunized with
Vaccinated,
COVID.
immunized,
He was-
whatever it
He
is.
wasn't immunized to vaccinating COVID-19.
Now-
It's not even a
I'm gonna take a
vaccination.
step
It's a
further.
freaking flu shot. That's all it is. Sorry.
So
Well, your way of thinking has got you twice.
so it's a
So I'm
felony.
going to not go with people
So-
who think like you.
So it's a
Because if
fel-
you got it twice, clearly the way you think
Tyler,
doesn't work.
Tyler, let me ask you a question. Are you vaccinated?
No, I am not.
Okay.
I'm not saying he should be vaccinated. I'm saying you should have the balls to say I'm not vaccinated. Here it is.
Why?
And then go with the proper protocols. Why? You're Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Okay.
You're not stressed for money. You're not pressed for money. And to be honest with you, Green Bay would probably be very lax with you. Not, oh, well, Aaron, put your mask on. Oh, Aaron, put your mask on. Oh, Aaron, did you take your shot
As
today?
laxed- hold
Here-
on. That Green Bay would be lax. Why is the Green Bay area dropping
Packers?
bombs? Yeah, the Green Bay area dropping bombs on him.
Because
while
the
this is going
organization
on.
looks absolutely dysfunctional right now.
Really?
Yes.
That's why they're 7-2.
No, the organization. How did you know your quarterback wasn't really vaccinated? How come you weren't testing him?
Maybe
How come
because
you
nobody
didn't?
gives a shit. How's that sound?
Listen, it's not about the vaccine. It's not even about COVID. He lied He didn't do what the league mandate was. He should not be
Tyler,
allowed to play.
Last year, was the vaccination
If
out?
he faked a
Was
steroid
last year-
test, would he be
hold on,
suspended?
Hold on. Last year, was the vaccination out?
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it
No,
was.
not for the NFL season.
No, it wasn't. Not in the regular season.
You're right. No,
not
it
in
was
regular
not.
season. Now, being that the vaccination wasn't out there, now all the players were at risk, but they were still playing, right?
What about the NHL? The Islanders
Were
in the
there
playoffs.
fans
There was
there?
no vaccination.
What do you mean the fans?
Were there fans?
They were signing autographs, right?
What?
They
There
were going.
were a couple
hold
stadiums
on.
that had it.
Wait, hold on.
They were signing autographs, right?
Here, and this is why I want you to be careful.
Oh, okay.
You normally knew that there was no vaccine.
Okay, so
Okay, then.
there's a good
so
chance
you
they-
can't lie to me about being vaccinated if there is none.
But you don't know. So lying or not, you want his autograph, you're going to go up to him. So you know what? You're putting yourself at risk, right?
That's what your excuse is?
That absolutely my excuse.
Because during COVID, when there was no answer,
Go get the
it was just-
vaccination. That's what it's telling you. Go. If he
Aren't
doesn't-
you getting vaccinated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then.
Mhm.
So if you're not vaccinated now.
No, and I got the
Are you
brunt of
go-
it. I got hit, man.
Okay, are you gonna lie about being non-vaccinated still? You're
yeah.
gonna go around still saying I'm not vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated.
Why
but
should
after-
you? Why should
Doesn't
you have to
matter
know?
if he is or it doesn't
Why
matter.
should you have to know?
He
As
doesn't
long
have
as
to.
my
It's
job
fine.
has to know, but that's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Your job has to know.
That's right.
Okay, guess who didn't know? His job.
Do you think his job didn't really know?
That's up to them.
Do
That's
you
up
think
to
the
them.
job didn't really know?
That's up to them.
Come on, dude.
That's up to
The
them.
doctors that are giving him shots are working with the team. So you're telling me the job didn't know that he didn't.
The
get
job very well might have known.
They
and that's why
absolutely
the Green
did.
Bay Packers need to be fined more too.
Really?
Yes.
I first of all,
Yeah,
I
Because I think you are right.
I think there's a lot.
I think
of
you are
players.
right. There's
I think
probably a
there's
lot of half the locker room
so, too.
probably. So now you have your
Not just the
team.
Green Bay Packers.
No, that's fine.
The
But
Tampa Bay
guess who's
Buccaneers,
got to be the example?
The New York Giants, the Dallas
The
Cowboys,
New York Jets.
the New York Jets, every one of them.
I'm sure. But guess who's going to be the poster boy? Mr. Big Mouth.
And you know,
Because you like to run
do
your
you
mouth.
know
You
why?
like to be a prick.
Do you know why?
Congratulations, pricko. You're object number one now.
Do you want to know why they're trying to pin it on him? Because
Oh,
it's
he's gonna be the
another
poster boy.
because they want to they want to pin it on a guy that is the face of an organization and a whole
Sure.
multi-billion-dollar
Yeah.
industry.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's wrong. And I think they should just leave this alone. Let him pay his fine. You don't like $14,000? Charge him $350,000, more than the team was charged, and just leave it alone. He could do
You gotta hurt the
whatever he
team too,
wants.
though.
How are you hurting the team? Has already been hurt.
Right. Well, guess what? You're going to continue to hurt because you're negligent.
Honestly,
allowed Aaron Rodgers to get away with
honestly,
it.
this is not even a story in my eyes. It really is.
It's a big story.
Because Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. He's going
Oh,
to
yeah,
start
of
winning.
course he's gonna come
going to
back.
win games,
Mm.
and nobody's even going to talk about this anymore. It's going to be over.
Mm.
It's going to be a dead story. Do you know why it's going to be a dead story? Because football runs everything.
I hope his collarbone breaks again.
Why do you hate him so much?
He's a prick.
Why would you wish injury upon somebody?
How do you know he's a prick? You don't even know him.
From what
He's
I
every time
heard.
he opens his mouth.
And I've heard
His whole
differently
Pat
from people.
McAfee interview.
I've heard differently from people.
The Pat McAfee
I've
interview.
heard-
he
I've
sat
heard-
I don't want to
there
see him get
like
injured.
a
but-
self-centered prick that
I've
he
heard
is.
3 people tell me that Aaron Rodgers is a nice guy.
and I have heard people saying that he's an asshole.
That's fine.
So,
And what makes him an asshole? Because he won't sign an autograph?
I don't know.
I don't really
Just
care if you
from
sign
what
an
I heard.
autograph or not.
I'm just saying.
Just don't be a condescending prick when you talk.
Listen,
Most of them are condescending pricks.
Well, that's fine.
I would
Aaron
say
Rodgers
I would
sits
say
there every
about
Friday.
75% of them.
There you go. So
Everyone I've met, and I've maybe met or I've had good conversation, actually befriended some of them that I'm still friends with at professional athletes, maybe 5, 6. I mean, a lot of these guys, when they're professional athletes, they're on the top of the world and they're top end athletes. They don't give a shit about you unless you are like them, or you're a hit musician, or you're a hit actor that is big like them. They don't care about you. Tyler, if you walked in and you were a multimillionaire and they didn't know it, they could care less who you are. And you could be a multimillionaire and you can do as much as they can. If they don't know that, they don't give a crap about you.
No.
And that's just the way life is.
that's just the
I
way
get
they
it.
are.
I understand. It has nothing to do with social standing. Aaron Rodgers, do you think you'd get away with it?
Yeah. Do I think I get away with lying?
Do you think that
If I
if
was
New
a
York
football
State
player?
found out that you were lying about being vaccinated, that you'd get away with it?
Honestly, I don't think they
You
care.
wouldn't.
I don't think they care.
Oh, they'd throw you in jail.
There's people
They'd
who
throw
don't
you in
care.
jail.
Really?
There's
Throw
people
me
who
in
care.
jail.
They'd throw you in jail.
They would throw me in jail right now if I went to a place and said I was vaccinated and I wasn't.
They're gonna throw him in jail.
They would absolutely throw him in
They're
jail.
not.
They were not gonna throw you in jail. You can't.
They're not going to throw me in jail.
No, actually,
There'll be a lawsuit. There'll be a lawsuit.
I don't even think it'll be a lawsuit.
I would sue him.
I'd be fined.
I would sue the crap out of him.
I'd be fined by the state of New York. That's what I'd be.
State of New York sucks. How about that?
No question that it does.
And so does California.
They're another ridiculous
Yep.
place to go to.
Yep.
That's why you stay in between.
Oh God!
You know what's
Well-
the first thing you look at when it comes to a woman? You don't look at the two gingerbreads. You look for
Speedy, what do you look at when it comes to a woman?
What do I look at?
Yeah.
What do you look for in a woman?
Careful,
Let's hear.
Careful. Plead the fifth.
Why you shaking your head like that? Like,
Just
It's
plead the
not obvious.
From a rating 1 to 10, what do you think? What kind of woman do you think you can get?
Oh God, I have no idea.
From a rating 1 to 10, what do you
know.
have? Give me a rating. Give me a number.
5? I don't know.
Oh,
No,
there you go,
no,
5.
no.
Tyler, how about you?
Everyone should say the answer should be 10 for everybody.
Yes.
Regardless of
But
what
that's
you
not
are.
true. That's a lie.
That's not true.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
You're
I
lying.
said the answer should be 10.
It should be 10. That's a
Everyone
lie.
should have the
That's a-
confidence to go up to
But
any
that's not a
woman they
confidence,
want
that's a lie.
or man.
Do you think you can get a 10?
He does.
Honestly.
Yeah, sure. With enough alcohol and drugs, absolutely.
That's a lie. I mean, come on, man. Obviously, you know it's a lie. So you even have a smirk on your face. You know
What
it's
do
a
you mean?
lie.
No, I don't. Everybody should be able to walk up to a 10 and have
You see a
confidence.
smirk on his face? You see that? I see the smirk on your face.
I
You
don't
know
have-
damn well that's a lie.
I'm not lying.
But you just lied. What are you
I'm
talking
not
about?
lying.
You actually believe that you could get a 10.
I do.
You're out of your mind.
You're on drugs.
I'm sorry you two don't feel that way.
I don't care to feel it because I completely disbelieve it. So I don't think there's any fact to it.
I'm sorry you two feel that way. I'm serious.
Jeff, you have to be listening to
Oh
this.
my God!
Jeff should feel that way too.
Jeff probably feels that way. He probably doesn't believe it. I mean, he might feel it. He'd probably say that's a complete lie. I mean, the chances of you getting a 10 out of a 1 to 10 is a joke. He's
Even if it's
actually
for
being
5
honest.
minutes.
He's just
Even
being
if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you're paying for it,
that's fine.
I didn't ask that. I said, do you think you can get it?
Sure, paying for it counts as getting it.
No,
it does.
No.
Oh, yes.
Why would you pay for something that you have?
What? Listen, man, you gotta pay for a 5-course meal sometimes.
Oh, wow.
They're not always free.
Well, I don't know what 5 course you're having.
But again, I'm serious. Everyone should feel that they can
You
go
like
to the bar
buttermilk or something? Or you like
buttermilk is delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you like the buttermilk. Speedy, you like buttermilk?
No idea.
I'm asking you like buttermilk?
No idea.
You never had buttermilk?
I don't know.
Milk?
Don't know. Never mind.
He's lost.
Sometimes I'm a little lost.
Well-
on this. The fact is the show's it's probably practically over. I just want to finish up quickly with this. I will say this, Tyler, you just lied right in front of your face, and
I didn't lie.
and you just are playing along that it's okay to lie. Okay,
I'm not-
so if
it's not
you can
okay.
lie, why can't
But my
Aaron
lie is
Rodgers
not
lie?
killing
I mean,
My
come
lie's not
on.
killing anybody.
I got you on a lie, and you can't even admit that you're lying.
Oh my God!
Am I right or wrong on this one?
It's my opinion.
Oh, so wait a second.
Here we go.
Wait a second. You never said it was your opinion, just right there. So
Yes.
I
you
said,
don't.
in my opinion, everyone should be able to walk up and get
That's not what you
That's
said.
not what you said.
Yeah.
That's not Speedy. Did he say that?
No.
He said everybody should be able to walk
Should,
up. That doesn't
but he
mean
didn't say it was his opinion.
Yeah, that doesn't. So
He didn't say it was his
I'll
opinion.
say it
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
No,
that doesn't mean it's
he
an
wants to
exact. That
rephrase
doesn't
his
mean it's an exact
words. Okay.
formula.
So how about this? Aaron Rodgers rephrased the immunization to a vaccination. Okay. So
knowing he was a liar.
Well,
hey, listen, he wasn't lying. He was telling
He
the
knew
truth.
what he was doing.
Get the hell out of here.
No.
Of course he did. Just like you think you know what you're doing when you say you can get a 10. Okay? I mean, seriously. What are you lost? I mean, seriously. You can lie about something in a way that could be factually true. Okay? So, again, I'm telling you, the way you're making Aaron Rodgers to be like a bigot or something like that,
Who said he's a bigot?
you
don't even brought up race.
You're making him out to be It's like telling somebody that he's homophobic when he's not, just because he just didn't
What
like.
the hell? Where are you going?
I'm going like this. Like, listen, you could say I don't like that guy, but you would, and God forbid he's gay, okay? And some people, I'm just saying, some people will think because he's gay, and that's why you hate him, right? Do you understand that? You get what I'm saying?
Tyler's confused right now.
He's always confused because I'm trying to express to you. But when you say something, doesn't always mean that you're telling the truth or you're lying. Just because you have a feelings towards something or that person doesn't mean that he's actually doing the bad that you're saying that he's doing. That's what I'm saying. You don't like Aaron Rodgers. You can't
The
stand
bottom line
Aaron
is
Rodgers.
everyone lies.
Everybody
That's the bottom
lies.
line, period. End of story.
I mean, I think you've lied probably 10, 12 times on this show, and you don't even realize it.
Easily.
Okay? So to
My
say
lie is not me lying to entertain somebody for 5 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is completely different from Aaron Rodgers.
That's why
lying
Steve
about people's health.
Levy apologized on a newspaper, apologizing, telling a false story that he thought he knows.
False stories.
Yes, he did. He made a false story.
We didn't.
What do you? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he lied about a story and he apologized for it. Did he not?
You just said that before. It's the first I heard.
Well, he did. Okay, so you just heard it from me. So what makes that different from this? He lied about something on national TV. Aaron Rodgers not lied to a press, which is on national TV, writing stories and stuff. What makes that different? Steve Levy's not getting it. He apologized. It's over. It's done. Aaron Rodgers says, I said I was immunized. He practically said, I'm sorry. Okay. And now all of a sudden, yes, he did. He practically said, I'm sorry. Maybe you misunderstood what I said, but honestly, I'm sorry if you misconstrued what I said. Okay. That's what he said. Did he not? He did. So he apologized. Why isn't this like, I'm going to tell you why. Because it's Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly why this isn't stopping. And this won't stop. But guess what? If Aaron Rodgers goes all the way to the NFC title game and goes to the Super Bowl,
It'll be forgotten about.
It'll be forgotten. Nobody cares. But it's a story because you know what? The press wants to blow it out of proportion.
They'll be forgotten about in a couple of weeks.
It's
over.
A couple of weeks. Give it a week.
It'll be over.
Something stupid's going to come out about that Henry Ruggs story, and this will be all over.
True.
By the way, Henry Ruggs, 4 felony counts. He's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of trouble. I'm talking. I was saying 2 to 5. He could see.
He's going to see more than that.
He might see.
10
like
to
15.
Yeah.
10 to 15.
He will.
I mean, they say up to 20.
True.
I mean,
he won't get 20, but he'll get up to probably
10 to 15.
I can see him getting 20.
He'll get 10 to 15.
10 to 15 manslaughter. You're talking about, and
he might get 20.
He was going 156, and they said he knew he wasn't. He was drunk, but he knew that he was trying to hurt and destruct something. So when you know that, you're trying to hurt somebody. So that could be big trouble for him. I feel bad for the kid. He's 22 years. I really do, and I feel bad for the family that lost a daughter. But the fact that he's been through so much and the mental capacity that he's probably going through, I could only imagine. I told you the story about Henry Ruggs. I mean, he lost the best friend. He probably blames himself, and it's sad. This whole story's sad. It really is. It's sad. It's just a bad story. Unfortunately, one person has to take the fall, and it looks like we're going to see a young kid who was so prominent and maybe going to be a special player in the NFL, just like Aaron Hernandez, who's gonna. And I tell you right now, if Henry Ruggs goes to jail for 8 to 10, expect the kid to kill himself. I don't expect him to go through that. Could you imagine a kid like that go?
I think he's going to kill himself regardless of what the jail time is.
I mean, I could only imagine the mental stuff that he's going through right now. I mean, it's sad. Anyways, Beef, thank you for joining us, bud.
Anytime.
Absolutely. Definitely want to get you back. I mean, Jeff, thank you for adding your 2 cents into the conversation. Tyler, always well for lying.
Get that one out of here.
That's the best take of the show. We got to cut that one out. We should all think we should get a 10. I asked Tyler, do you really think? Yeah, I think I could get a 10. And he was smirk on his face.
Bringing Jessica Alba in here right now. She's a 10. All right. You going to get her?
I I'd like to hear Jessica Alba thinks of you.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
1 to 10. What do you think he is?
She'll walk in this room. She'll walk right out. Like
She'd probably take 5 points away from you for your receded hairline. I love you, Tyler. I love you, Tyler. You really are one funny dude, man. Did you go out today? Did you
Fuck off and end the show.
Anyways, that's it for the show. We'll be back tomorrow with the great Tyler Harrison, the liar. That's his name. Tyler the liar Harrison.
Maybe you should fine him.
I don't know what we can fine him for.
Oh
well. What?
I said right. I'm immunized.
Oh, you probably shot yourself in the ass. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Jay from Chicago, all the fans that listen to us throughout the social medias. We'll be back tomorrow. And yes, it won't be Beeve, but I'm sure Beeve will be listening. But we will be out of here with the liar. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.